taken away some years ago, immediately after he was given an opportunity to be DP. I feel there was the CS who replaced him to be the DP, and he's the one who was giving directions with the president, that is Ruto. And this is the one who was wearing a watch of 900,000. And right now has been given another chance to be in the sports. And as we can see, there's a lot of projects going on in the Ministry of Sports just because they're going to loot money in that department once again. So I just wonder why this trend keep on ongoing, and as it is written here is a distraction, then it is, because it's just a strategy that the government uses to just trick the citizens that they are with us, but literally they're up to their own benefits and their own stomachs. That is just my few submissions. If I have something to add, I'll come back. Asante sana Charia.
Yeah, thank you so much for your submissions. Yeah, it's a trend, like in our country, they tend to bring up a distraction thing, like the fallout thing at a very critical moment in the government. Like now, they've seen and noticed that people are very serious and focused in fixing this nation, and they ain't falling for any traps. And so they find all ways, all means to distract us, but we're not gonna fall for that. We stay focused. Osel, your hand was up, so go ahead.
Well, I'm good. You can just pass, please.
Okay, Kenyans, are you there? Kenyans? Gisiri, go ahead.
Hi guys, I hope you can be able to hear me. I think as the first speakers have said, government ya KK iko issues, by the way. They just want to give you something to chew while they are avoiding the questions, very valid questions that the young people are raising and asking. I remember when the Gen Zs were in the streets, pulling the arms of this government. Ruto came out blessing to Gachagua anamwambia through his, goons kina Ishungwa. Asema this is the guy who was trying to, overthrow the government ama support the Maandamano. But Ruto, on the other hand, pia yeye anatumiwa because, of course, he has identified the gap. Ameona in Kenya there is no opposition. He's trying to fit in those shoes so that he can, gain those favors zenye zinakujanga na mtetezi. Anybody mwenye anaonekana kutetea mwananchi, like where the fuck was he wakati alikuwa anapewa mabillions na mabibi zake waende wakafanyie vitu zao za ujinga? Where was the Mlima people? Wakati zimekuwa stripped, budget imerushwa chini, finance bill imetupwa, is when he's coming to tell us there is a Mlima. How much has he spent kwa kusaidia watu huko kwa Mlima? Even the millions that he used to purport kwamba anasaidia watu wenye ni walevi wenye wamekuwa na kunywa pombe, they were looted because we do not have records ya kuonyesha how many beneficiaries and how much was used. So I think Kenyans are smart people. They see through the faces of these liars. Na the end will justify the means. Let's keep focused. Na pia, let's not buy into their, their tricks. Sai ni Gachagua, kesho they will bring something else. Kesho kutwa they keep on throwing us bones to chase while they are, looting and eating. There are some very valid questions that are being asked by, every right-minded citizen, including their own senators and senators wenye wanapigania kinonyonka. Very valid question. There is Adani deals that hata watch hizo clips za Adani. Mpaka hata ma-CS wanasweat kuuliza how many people were, bid in this in this thing. You cannot tell us only Adani came from nowhere, akakuja akajua deal ya Kenya, aka-apply na aka-win. There must be some people who are interested. Na hizi clips ukiwatch, you see kumbe I was shocked if people like Mbadi wanaweza enda wamezwe na system. It's true, anasema serikali sio mbaya ukiwa ndani, ukiwa nje ndio mbaya. So let Gachagua not play the games. Kama yeye ni mtu mwenye anajielewa, I think ameona kitu inakuja, and even if we go home, let him go. So what? Kenya itabaki Kenya, even if hata Ruto huyo aende tu. But mwananchi, let's assure that wale wenye tulianza na hii moto na wale tuna keep kwa hii moto, let's encourage one another. Let's not lose hope. We need to join even those who are in the street. There is this shift yenye imekuwa implemented against even court orders. Kuna vitu mingi zina happen Kenya zenye ziko na direct impact kwa life ya mwananchi. What is Gashagua's position has to do with the things that mwananchi wa kawaida anapitia. So those are just theatrics zenye wana play, but I think mwananchi amejua, and keep up the good work, the likes of Kioti Sonko, Tori, and all those people who are bringing this platform so that we can express ourselves. We are learning a lot. Actually, mimi upendanga kuja hapa at least hata kusikia tu, because I keep on learning each and every day. There are very nice speakers, people who are focused na wanatufundisha mambo mingi. So personally, when I actually nikisha contribute, I think it's also good mimi huo unani drop to from the speaker panel so that I can keep on listening and learning, because I usually hata rewind this thing, play the records. There is a lot of information yenye inakuwa dispensed in these forums, and I like it, and may you continue kabisa, muendelee hivyo hivyo. Thank you. That's what my contribution.
Wow, thank you so much, and we really appreciate. If you know, like, Gachagua is one person who has been in politics since very, very long time ago when he was a DO, and he knows these tactics which the politicians play. And I don't understand how you can come ahead and tell us you didn't know about the Adani deal you knew after the whistle was blown. That's bullshit. That's crap. We're not going to fall for it. And as much as this thing of impeachment is going through, it's trying to take back in tribal clashes, because you can see now Sudi said 2 weeks. That means it's kind of Kalenjins versus the Gikuyus or whatever. We should not fall for this. If we have one enemy, tribal is our biggest enemy. Tribalism is going to hold us back. We are moving one step forward, they pull us 10 steps back for their own benefits. We should not fall for it. Let's stay focused and strategize, be persistent on what we are doing and the Kenya we want. We all want a better Kenya. So I'll give it to data science. Hi.
Hi, Toria. I hope you guys are doing okay. A game of chess, and then we are attacking from the middle. Now they are trying to tell us we need to watch the game from the edges, but ideally the game is being played at the center. So I'm just
data science. I guess you are losing you.
All right. Let me drop, then come back again.
But you're good. You're good now. You can go on.
Somebody was calling me, so I'm just saying that let's not focus on the edges of the board. Let's just continue attacking from the middle, because these guys are trying to take us to the other side, and we don't want to focus on the edges. We want to continue attacking from the middle, because we are trying to oppose the globalist agenda, which is being pushed to us by our president, Mr. Ruto, who we are supposed to continue pushing for the Ruto must go hashtag, and we need to not lose concentration on what we want as a people of Kenya. Gachagua, the Gachagua games and the rest, we are aware of the game. We've seen this before. And then we don't want to buy, we don't want to take the bait. We just want us to be consistent. Sorry. Then let's focus on the end goal. What do we want? Let's not buy into their politics and stuff. As we know what we want. We've been violated in the past. We've seen so many comrades being killed. It's not like something that they're not like speculations or something, things that we have seen happening. So let's not lose focus. We don't want to work the way the political classes work in the past. We just want to work for accountability, integrity, and then just Kenyans who want the best for the country. We don't want to do all this politics as much as we need politics for a society to thrive. That's my submission. I'll just land it there for now.
Thank you. Well spoken. I have nothing to add there. Let them sort their issues. We should not be distracted or diverted by them. So, Kenyans, are you there? Kenyans, are you there? Okay. Chief Economy, I guess an economist. Chief Economists.
Thank you, Toria. And good evening, everyone. Tulikuwa tumesema we won't take sides on this issue of the impeachment of Gachagua. But I need, I'm actually not taking sides, first of all. Secondly, I need to give us a basis of why such things happen in our administrations. The quarrels that you always find in government, and you might say that these quarrels have started with Uhuru and Ruto, but in real sense, these quarrels have been with us over and over and over. During the time of Kenyatta, we had quarrels between the president and majorly the position of deputy president by then was not as influential as it is now. But we had the president being very, very uncomfortable with people they have chose and put in positions of power. Even during the time of Moi, but most recently during the time of Kibaki, when we had the coalition government, and even before in 2002, there were sort of coalitions created so that these people can win an election. And Raila and everyone, Kalonzo, Ngilu, whoever, Kibaki, came in and created a coalition to remove Moi. And this coalition succeeded. Now, this coalition only lasted for, let's say, 2 years, 2003 and 2004. 2005, we had the constitution, and we were back where the other governments were. And the 2005 constitution sort of differentiated or created the coalitions or governments or sort of the leaders we have till to date, and even the ideologies, the opposition and the government. So this sort of boils down to the moment these people are creating governments, the moment these people are going into elections, what are their major sort of the things that are propelling them? They always look at the end goal, which is to win an election. At the same time, they don't sort of put into consideration their ideologies, first of all, and the interests of Kenyans. Since Kibaki, no government has come in place to serve the interests of Kenyans. It's all about the end goal, which is to win an election. And you all know, the moment you follow, for example, you follow a woman for a very, very long time, and at the end of maybe a few months, you get to hit the jackpot, you know what happens afterwards. You lose interest. And this is basically what has been happening over and over. If these people had real agendas, like Gachagua and Ruto came in to solve real agendas, then these quarrels could not even have come up. If Uhuru and Ruto came in to solve agendas, these quarrels could never come up. Now, the biggest problem is this. The moment these people are coming in, they are sort of dividing government into their block. One block belongs to this person, this block belongs to this person. And such arrangements will always come along with betrayals. And that is what exactly is happening right now. President Ruto might sort of keep as quiet as he will on this issue, but we basically know these are the basics of these quarrels. Now, if you checked, the moment this quarrel started, Citizen TV sort of held polls in counties. Do you remember how Citizen TV used to go to counties during Maandamano? That is the same thing they did with the quarrels between Gachagua, Sijui Murima, and the government and the rest. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. They gave mics to people asking them, what do you think about this issue between Gachagua and Murima and such? Now, if you see the government mouthpiece, because currently Citizen is the government's mouthpiece, doing this, they are doing this basically to change the narrative. Why didn't they go down there to talk to people about Adani deals? Why have they never gone there to talk to people about what Morara is doing? Why pick up such a story and go and try to get information from different parts of the country? And currently, people are sort of moving away from our main agenda. And I will tell you, our main agenda is not even to sort of get good governance. Our main agenda right now is to have Ruto out. If you are shifting from that main agenda, we are not on the same page. Because we can never negotiate with Ruto. There is no way you'll negotiate with Ruto right now. The Adani issues, these are issues even the opposition has kept quiet about. Currently, the parliament is on fire. Senate is on fire. That is a very, very good thing that is happening currently. And they want us to move our mentality from this. Now, a fact, and I'll tell you this for free. I don't know how correct I am, but I feel I'm correct. The motion of removing Gachagua will never see light in parliament. It will never see light. They will never table a motion to remove Gachagua. Why? Because one, that is not their agenda. The agenda is to divide us and neutralize the movement. Okay? Secondly, they know the repercussions of doing that. And with the heightened tension of Maandamano and such. So, this is only something to keep us moving. If you hear them talking about 2 weeks, they need us to sit down and wait for the 2 weeks, thinking that this is what is going to happen next. My friends, this will never happen. It won't happen. It won't see the light of day. It is only something to keep us busy. Now, if it ever sees light of day, I will be very, very happy. Because these are very, very good conditions for Occupy State House. If these people continue with these wrangles, it will be a very, very good avenue for Occupy State House. We had people having wrangles about Adani, and JKA was occupied, and the impact was felt. Let them keep up with whatever they are doing, but guys, don't take sides. Do not be the food. Do not be the cook. Do not be the fire. Be the fuel. Fuel this thing as much as possible. Let them have wrangles left, right, and center. But keep your eyes on the prize. It's coming, and it's coming very, very soon. And you don't have to be sort of take sides or lose our focus. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Don't be sort of take sides or lose our focus. That's our agenda. We are not going to lose focus. Guys, welcome to Sauti ya Mwananchi. It's 30 minutes past 8. The topic of the day is Gachagua impeachment is a distraction. Stay focused. Hosted by KOT Sonko and co-hosted by me, Toria Biwot. So I'm going to give Puroso. Puroso, hi. Puroso, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Is my name an issue?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, it is true that, first of all, KOT, how are you? Please give me 100.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. I can hear you, bro.
Yes, bro. Gachagua impeachment is actually a distraction. And it is true that we have to stay focused. You know, it is, remember we started this kind of movement on the platform that we are tribeless. But unless we keep on reminding ourselves about this, then we are likely to forget and be drawn into this tribal kind of politics, and then we lose it. Politicians have always harvested a lot from putting us into these cells that they call tribes. They always come for these cells whenever they want to score some goals, and we have always found ourselves on the receiving end every time they use this kind of tribal card. So Gachagua, personally, I never voted for this demonic government that is really terrorizing Kenyans, left side, left, right, and center, from morning to evening, from Monday to Friday. To Monday. You know, I never voted for these people. I knew the reason why myself and many others never voted for these people is because we already knew their history. We already knew Gachagua as a DO who had terrorized people during Moi's time. From his tender years, he kept on terrorizing people up to the time Moi went. He was working for Moi. We know Moi was a tyrant. We knew Zakayo, what he did in 2007. We knew what his performance and what his role, the role he played during Youth for Kano 92. We knew it, and that's why we rejected the duo. So today we cannot be distracted by the issue of Gachagua. If I find myself one day that I'm supporting Gachagua, that now, you know, even if I was from that cell that they call the tribe, there is no day I will support such a kind of a person because I know his history. Why should I support him now? Why should I sympathize with him, even if it were true? Yet we know very well it is just a gimmick. We know they are playing. It's a play. Okay? They are playing us. I mean, there is nothing. They are acting. Yeah. You want to tell me that Gachagua and Ruto can be enemies? How? How can that happen? We are not stupid. We are not idiots to believe such a lie, an outright lie. How can we believe such? There is no way. If you are informed, if you get to the history of these people, there is no way you can believe that these people can be enemies. There is no way you can believe that Ruto can think about impeaching Gachagua. And even if he does that, he's doing it because he's intending to score a certain goal. And of course, that goal is against Kenyans. So we should be people who are very much conversant with what is happening. We should always ask ourselves questions of what's happening around us. We should ask why. Why? Why are they bringing the issue of Gachagua at this point? Why? Why? If we get that answer, we will not trust them. We should ask ourselves what if questions. What if? We should ask ourselves how. You know, those are questions that are asked by critical thinkers. People look at situations and they don't just accept them. They ask questions before they can accept anything. We should not be people who just accept narratives just because they are coming from your popular politician. No, we should reject such. So the issue of Gachagua impeachment, it is neither here nor there. In fact, if I see somebody discussing about it, I usually give that person, I turn the other side. You know, I don't even listen. Yeah? How can you tell me that Ruto can impeach Gachagua? There are very many pressing issues that we should be discussing. There are many pressing issues that we should be talking about, like the Adani issue. Have we forgotten about the Adani issue? The Adani issue is alive. They are actually, those are a distraction they are bringing it forth so that we can forget about Adani and so that they can just, you know, what was happening in the Senate are very candid discussions, you know, about the Adani issue. That is what they are distracting us from, so that we don't follow the discussion, so that we don't see how those people are stammering when they are answering questions that are being asked about Adani deal. You know, they want us not to question the bills which are being presented to Parliament. They don't want us to question, to ask, what is it that Ruto has gone to do in the US, apart from what they are telling us. You know, they're telling us, oh, Ruto went to Unga 79, you know. It is not about that. Behind that visit, what other things is he doing there? What other treaties and agreements is he signing? Who did he go with? Okay? How important are these people to his government? Why do you think they went with these people, you know, in this government? Yeah. So there are things that they went to do there. Those are the things they don't want us to question about. When he comes back, we should ask him to tell us what is it that he went to do there, apart from what he's telling us. Those are, you know, that is how Kenyans we should be thinking, looking at these issues. We cannot allow at this point our country to continue being run down. Okay, remember, we challenged Sakayo on 25th of June and onwards. He saw that we are a threat, and he treats us as threats. And therefore, when you threaten a coward, do you know that coward can be very dangerous? You know, don't threaten a coward and then you just leave. Okay, that coward will kill you, because now he will know that you are a serious threat. So he'll ambush you when you least expect it, and he will kill you. That's what we did in June 25th. So we should not remove our eyes from the focus point. The focus point is Ruto, not Gachagua. The focus point is the corruption that is happening in this government, this government that is demonic. I call this government demonic because there is nothing good they have ever done to Kenyans ever since the office. They have always been scheming for evil things. They have always been planning and executing evil schemes against the Kenyans. Some of those Kenyans voted for them, believing that they were angels who had come from heaven, and so they were people. People were to deliver them from bondage. But what are they doing? They are always scheming against these people. They are always scared about them. So we should ask ourselves, why are these people doing this? I mean, why are they planning evil against Kenyans? Yet these are the same Kenyans who voted for them. Obviously, they are working for somebody, and this somebody is actually headquarters in pale mahali ameenda today in New York. He has gone there to bring more instructions to come and destroy this country. There is nothing good. He has been going against the court rulings. Recently, you saw Masengeli. You know, it has never happened. How can somebody be sentenced to prison and then all of a sudden the court says this person is apologetic? Suppose it is me or you, my listener here, who was sentenced for 6 months. Will you have gone back to the same court and be listened to? Really? Should we have two sets of laws in this country? One set for the rich and the powerful, and the other set for the weak and the poor? No, that is the route Ruto has taken us. You know, that is the route. That is not the country that our forefathers fought for. That's not the country. This is a very different country that Ruto is creating. Yes, I'm landing now. If really our forefathers would wake up today and see what Ruto is doing, they will immediately collapse and die so that they don't see. Otherwise,
okay, thank you so much, Puroso. We cannot and we can never allow Gachagua to be a distraction. We can never allow, not even him, but any politician to distract us from what we are focused on. They watched as we were killed on the parliament gates, brains scattered, a dirty deal they know, nobody stood up, and the Russia children disappeared. People have just moved on as if nothing happened. And now they want to play the sympathy game, and they want to play the impeachment, distraction, and being gotten rid of in WhatsApp group as if it's a big deal. That's fucking bullshit. We are not going to board that vehicle. We are focused on advocating for good governance, accountability. We need people with integrity to rule us. We need new peoples. We need leaders. We don't want dealers. We are tired. Banapunda amechoka. So now you've been struggling. Now, hi.
Hi, hello members, hope I'm audible. Hello members. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You can talk.
Okay. The reason tunakuwa distracted. The reason tunakuwa distracted it's because of society. Society hawajajua rights zao. So the more tunaendelea kuinject, more tuko na like kama saa hii Gachagua akisema ni anakuja hizi area, unapata kila mtu amejaa, like anawaongelesha, anawaambia mimi ni mtu wenu. Bado hatujajua reason ya mtu wetu. Unasahau mtu wenu ni ule mwenye unafanya naye kazi hapo next, mtu unaweza piganiaje niwekee 200, huyo ndio mtu wetu. So hizo ndio vitu tunafaa kuwa tuna inject. Another reason, hatujajua rights zetu, hatujajua what is tax. Watu wanafaa wafunzwe what is tax. Most of the people hawajajua kila mtu analipa tax. Hawajui ukienda kwa duka everything unafanya in Kenya umelipia tax. That's our big problem, because unapata kama tuseme walimu wamestrike. Sisi tuko na watoto, tunaambia watoto msiende shule, walimu wamestrike. Lakini sisi ndio tumelipa hao walimu. Where si wenyewe tunafaa tunaungana. Walimu wamestrike na sisi tunatokea. Niaje mbona walimu wana strike na tumelipa tax? Already tumelipa hao walimu na mnakubali wa strike. Kwa nini? Mnatuwekea watoto nyumbani na tumelipa. Unapata tena hospitali, unaenda hospitali. Then as long as it's not your problem, Kenyans tunakuwa na shida. As long as it's not my problem, until my problem itafika, ndio nitaanza kurealize hii shida. So tunafaa tuungane, design ya ikifika ni kama ni doctors wamestrike, tunafaa tujue hao watu wanalilia nini mshahara. Kwa nini hawajalipwa na tumelipa tax? So we are being overtaxed. Double taxing. Wewe unapata kwanza wewe umeandikwa kama watu wengi kwa ground wanafanya biashara. Hawajui wanalipa tax. Wakisikia watu wakilia na tax wanasemanga sisi si wa mwisho wa mwezi. Most of the people hawajui wanalipa tax. Wanasema sisi wa mwisho wa mwezi. Wewe huyu mtu wa mwisho wa mwezi analipa tax na akishalipa hii tax bado akikuja kwa duka hakuna kitu yake imetengwa. Ati huyu afai kununua unga 150, anafaa anunue unga 98 bob, bado ananunua unga ile 150. Unapata tunafanywa double taxing. Huyu mtu wa duka the same thing inamhapenia, pia yeye analipa tax hivyo. So hiyo ni civil education. Tunafaa kuwa tunafunza watu polepole until tunaelewana. So hatutakuwa distracted, lakini for now because tunaendelea kufunza watu polepole, lazima hizi distractions zikue. Wewe tukiendelea tu kufunza watu polepole, distractions zinaenda kupungua. By 2027 I hope we will all make it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. But don't put in mind 2027. We need to do it as soon as possible. If we put in mind 2027, people are going to relent. They'll go back, relax, and say, let's wait for 2027. We go back again in the streets. Hit the nail on top while it's still hot. Sai, chuma kimoto. Ni moto. Wanyama.
Ni wanyama bana. Hebu niite vizuri Toria.
Yawa.
Bana, star lao huku hivi mcheze na trademark yangu ya jina bana.
Okay, wanyama.
Thank you.
Oh God.
Thank you so much.
Okay, how are you?
Niko salama, how are you?
I'm good. Able tusalimie na utuambie kitu.
Habari zenu, and as always, welcome to Sauti ya Mwananchi. Sorry, I delayed a bit. I was supposed to come in at a time T, but my focus is also the morning show. Ujua bana, multitasking si rahisi. Jesus Christ. Anyway, to anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Wanyama Wafula, your favorite host. Kama hata mimi niko host hapa. Niliandika hapa kwa hii platform that, you see, at the basis of everything, all we are asking for is governance to be at its peak. Now, governance is only split into two. There's good governance and bad governance. Anything that deviates from that ni politics. And politics Achieni the politicians, achieni kina Keoti, Marvin Mabonga, kina Morara, achieni hao wacheze politics. So kwa saizi tunahitaji governance. Tukisha achieve good governance, not the bad one. We are already in the bad one. Tukisha achieve the good governance, sasa tuanze siasa. So until then, hapa tunaumia tu. Hizi stories za Gachagua nini ni the same script that Ruto alicheza. If you are not looking at the pattern, when he had his boss at one end akisema anateswa, na hiyo the same script they want to use it right now. And they know for sure Kenyans, as Kenyans, we are very tribal. Kidogo huko tuko tunasema good governance, but mkiguza Mrima Mrima inakuwa shida. Same to us, watu wa Ingo. Tunaongeanga ni kama sisi pia si tribal. We are very tribal. Tunaanzanga tu kujifanya huku hivi. But mkiguza Ford Kenya, muguze huko kina Natembea, tunaanza kuwa sasa, pia sisi we can be. Either way, this is not a talk for us to have a lecture on who is right, who is wrong. All I'm asking is, can we have a conversation on what is ailing us every day, away from this distraction of Gachagua saying, nateswa, vile Gachagua mwenyewe aliambia anaitwa nani, Moses Kuria, pole sana, Mungu akifunga mlango moja anaweza fungua ingine. Pia si tumwambie tu hivyo, pole sana, Mungu akifunga moja atakusaidia na ingine, and forward we march. Because in the country that we are in, watu wamehustle kukuja hizi spaces manze za sauti za mwananchi. Unajua msa amehustle, amenunua bundles za 20 bob. Tusikeshe kumwambia about Gachagua na shida zake. 4 billion yenye ilishikwa sijui na nani. Msa amehustle. Tuna getting msa na join hii space ananiambia manze, naingianga tu space kupata hope, kujua hii Kenya iko na future. Naumia lakini nikiingia tu huko iko na future. Wase wanatuma data ya 10 bob. Mimi kwanza naangalianga wase wenye wanatumanga data za 10 bob, sijui 30 bob. Mse anasema bana, continue with the Lord's work. Do not focus on the amount that is being sent. Amekutumia na roho ile yenye, good governance has to be there in Kenya. Now that's the belief that we can't kill. A mother in Bungoma who is watching the kids go hungry is no different from a mother in Mount Kenya saying, manze, sijui chakula itatoka wapi. A mother with a child suffering from addiction because of depression and all those kind of things is no different from Kilifi to all the way to Nyanza. Unajua? Kama unajua the growl of an empty stomach, not because of ulisahau kukula but hakuna chakula. Kama unajua the hand tremor of being hungry, na intakana uende shamba kulima, not because it's your farm but because unaenda kufanya kibarua manze. That's the realities we are speaking about. Kama unajua you cannot fall in love at this point just because you cannot support the relationship in the long run. You can't get babies as much as you'll want to progress your generation. You can't even support the education. You can't go to school. You can't further your studies because what's the function of education? Because unajua, what's the function of going to school if you can't get work? Watu wanauza ng'ombe, wanauza shamba kupeleka mtoto shule. They even get to a whole trailer wakienda shule. I mean, graduation ya mtoto. It's so sad what happens after the graduation. Now, all we are asking is, can we be treated better in our hospitals? Tusipochunga tunarudi enzi za malaria kuua watu kwa hospitali. Ni mshaigonjeka cerebral malaria. Watu wenye wamepitia poverty stricken areas will know what that is. Cerebral palsy. Those are real issues. Kama hujaidungwa quinine just to cure your malaria. You've eaten sweet potatoes to an extent it's become. Watu wanaongeanga ati sweet potato is a delicacy. There are areas where that is the staple meal. Beans, unripened beans. Those are the realities of poverty which we are in Kenya. And those are the people that are hoodwinked by very evil politicians saying, nikikupea 100, nikikupea 50. Those are the realities. Not because that 150 is a lot, but because amekaa bila kuona hiyo 150. and even scale it up. Those of us who think that we have made an advancement in life, tukafika pale umefika, it's a reality. You'll never be a millionaire to some of us if nothing changes, because the investments are done. There's no futuristic investments in us. In fact, nitakana tuanzishe hapa hivi trend ya ndoto yangu, because most of the youths, our dreams are dead. Us who wanted to be something are dead. Are dead because utafanya nini? Now, I'm not here to tell you about the realities of poverty, the realities of hustle. You know, as fellow Kenyans, you know. Napo ndo reality. Kwa tunaumia wote. What we are asking is, do we know much on how to handle the collective good in asking for governance? And that's why the talks are there. Ultimately, if we keep speaking, I believe, tutafika pahali penye we all agree on a common trend. Hizi vitu zenye watu wanasema tunapigana, tunaachana, tunafanya. These are teething issues. The common goal, tukipendana, tukikosana, is we all want what? Good governance. And that is what is represented by the hashtag Ruto must go. No one hates Ruto. No one wants that. We hate his style of leadership. We hate what he has created the country to be. We hate what the presidency has become, a tribal cohort of people who believe, as youths, educated, emancipated from all the things that were ailing our parents, they still think we want to fall for 150 shillings, to boo or to cheer, and then we are forgotten for 5 years. We are only called Ndugu during elections. I could rant on and on and on about this, but guys, never forget what everyone is playing in this. If today we stop doing this, kwa saizi nitasikiza. Thanks, Torian Keuti.
Okay, shukran sana. You've all heard what has been said. I'm not going to repeat anything, and I'm not going to add anything. So we are all advocating for good governance. Let's focus on that. And let's avoid minor distractions. So Dennis, hi.
Hello and good evening, Toria.
Evening.
Thank you, KOT, Toria, and the rest of the listeners and other speakers. Thank you for being here and continuing with this very important conversation that touches on matter civic education and what we can do as active citizens to ensure that Kenyans are taught and reminded about their rights, about how to ask for what is rightfully theirs, and even teaching them on how to play their oversight roles from wherever they are, from the ward level up to the executive and the national government. And we thank everyone so far who is doing this. On today's topic of Gachagua impeachment, we're being asked if it's a distraction, and we are being reminded to stay focused. I couldn't agree more, because we are actually where we are today because of the role that he played in all this. We know the role he played in forming this government. He's the one who has actually reminded us of how important he was when they were forming this government. He's actually the one who gave us the word shareholding in this regime. Such a selfish person. I'm not saying that I'm supporting anyone on this, but I'm just reminding Kenyans that let those crocodile tears not lie to you. Politicians are very dramatic people. We are yet to see more drama. Gachagua's impeachment is just, it's just it's just a tip of that iceberg. And we must have this conversation, because we must tell Kenyans who these people really are. We must expose their nakedness. We must tell Kenyans where what they have done wrong, where they have mistreated us, and where they have, how they have murdered our colleagues who have gone out to demand for what is rightfully theirs. We must remind Kenyans of the missing Kenyans as well, those who have been abducted. So this conversation is very good, and I really appreciate what you're doing. Let me speak from a point of a person, I'm a Murima, because when we talk about Gachagwa's impeachment, we must talk about the Murima, because that's what the nation has been talking about. Oh, usiguse Mrima, usiguse Mrima. Let me speak as a person from Murima, but lives in Rift Valley. And I want to ask my fellow Kenyans, how does that affect me? How does Gachagwa's impeachment affect me? So that politicians now gang up to put us into ethnic groups and start pointing fingers. This is the time they have realized that the ground has shifted because of the events of June 25th. These politicians are very smart, by the way. They are smarter than all of us. Because they know the ground has shifted, now they are trying to find ways of coming back to us and reminding us our second names and our clanism, so that now they can tell us at the last minute, this is how we want you people to vote. I want to remind Kenyans that events of 2007 are about to repeat themselves. I come from the Rift Valley and I wear that shoe. I know where it pinches, and I can read the patterns. Politicians have started beating the drums of war. Politicians have started playing to the tune of negative ethnicity, and all this is very well calculated to drive us from our main focus of changing this country through putting effective change, either through the ballot or any other means that the Constitution allows us. Let us remind our brothers and sisters that they should continue doing civic education in whatever form, in whatever language, so that hata huko nyumbani wazazi wetu, because that's where I see the biggest problem. I'm not a millennial. Sorry, I'm not a Gen Z. I'm a millennial, but I know, because I'm in eco ground, and I know our parents can be a bit difficult. Let us teach them pole pole, kwa lugha ya kunyenyekea, kwa lugha ya heshima, tuwaeleze, because we must emancipate ourselves from this mental slavery of mbeho government and the way the political system has been set by politicians intentionally to dupe us, to keep us in darkness, so that they can steal from Kenyans. So I really support what you people are doing, encourage what you are doing. Maybe just to respond to, as I went up to what Wanyama said, I agree with everything you said, but we also need to understand and appreciate that whatever we are yearning for, whatever we are fighting for, must be included in a political process. We are doing all this so that Kenyans can be aware of the options they have. We are doing civic education so that it can culminate into changing the government. And we have all agreed that the problem is not one person. The problem is that whole institution. That whole institution must be changed. And that's why we have been advocating for Fagia Wote, or, drain the swamp. All this, anyone who is talking about changing this thing from the ward level to the national executive level is speaking our language. And that is the language we should stick to. That is how we should remain focused. And by doing this, we must participate in other political processes as well. Kenyans need options. Kenyans need answers, and they need to be told early enough so that they can start preparing and digesting that hard truth that indeed change is coming. A lot of people don't believe change is coming because they are very tribal. But I want to encourage all of you, with time, we have 3 years to do this. We have 3 years to do civic education. We can be able to do it. Let me predict how the election is going to be in 2027. We are going to have a third force, who is going to be this force, the force of the Gen Zote, everyone included, as long as you are fighting for integrity, as long as you are fighting for the rule of law, you are part of this movement, and this movement is going to be the third force, and this movement might just get that power. The elections of 2027 won't be won during round one because this movement will bring challenges to the political class, and finally they will end up ganging against this movement. So the earlier we form even a political party, the better. Kenya has 82 political parties today. I'm aware that we have 8 other who are under provisional registration. They are yet to be confirmed, but they have passed a few very important stages. Soon we'll be over 90 political parties. By the time we're getting to election time, we'll be over 100 political parties in Kenya. But what is the difference? What cuts us out from the rest? I mean, we have had 82 political parties during last year, 2022 as election. Why did we close our eyes to almost 81 political parties and just went for ODM and UDA, through the coalitions they had? So the problem is not really a political party. It is just a vehicle to get us there. We just need a political party and a political movement that will speak the same language so that we are able even to coordinate this civic education properly. Because remember, we need everyone on board. We need everyone on board, from the religious institution, the civic society, the public service. Everyone needs to come on board. There are so many Kenyans who are yearning for change. There are many Kenyans who are suffering. Yesterday's example of a young intern taking her life because of poor planning by government. This is a wake-up call that indeed this country is headed in the wrong direction. If we are murdering our young doctors, and remember, this is School of Medicine is one of those courses that everyone wants to do. Anyone in high school today who gets A and A minus, they are transniting. They are not sleeping so that they can go to med school. And then when they get to med school, this is what the government shows them. This is how the government rewards all that hard work. It is indeed a clear sign that the future is bleak. There is no light at the end of this tunnel, and we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do because we are going to be distracted even further. The more politicians and the political elite realize that this movement is going to be powerful, they will come for our necks. They will come for us. They'll frustrate anything that we need to do legally for us to be on the ballot. So I support that we need to plan and put ourselves in a political system as early as now. Because bado wanatudharau. Bado wanafikiria wale ni wale majamaa wa kwenda maandamano na ma-iPhone. Bado wale ni wale majamaa wa kwenda maandamano alafu wanaenda KFC. Let them still think this. But I know how it feels because niko ground. I know how it feels because I'm also on social media, and I can predict and I can see how the movement is coming. So far, so good. Let us encourage all of you. Don't be distracted by anything. Everything you are seeing being done by politicians is for pure entertainment only. We have one focus: drain the swamp. I submit.
Thank you so much. Yeah, drain the swamp. Oh, shit. That's our focus. Hey, Wanyama, endelea kidogo. Fuck, my app is dropping. Shit.
Hey, jamani. Toria bwana.
Jamani, huku tu ni
unatumia lugha gani?
Tumii lugha sanifu, mabonga. Jamani dada.
Jamani bwana.
Kimsikitishacho. Mabonga, ongea.
Wanyama.
Yes, Mabonga. Nieleze.
Okay. Nafikiri tukaweza kuendelea na mada yetu ya siku hii ya leo, kwamba ule mswada wa kumtoa naibu wa rais Rigathi Gachagua, hiyo ni njama ya kutupotosha sisi kama wananchi, na tukaweze kusahau yale ambayo yanatendeka hivi sasa katika nchi yetu, nchi kuu ya Kenya. And so we are saying that that impeachment motion is just a distraction. Okay, sorry guys, someone was calling me. I hope Wanyama you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay,
You
and so I was saying, yeah, and so that impeachment motion is just one of the ways to confuse us. And so you'll find out that on our timeline, some people are talking about the impeachment motion, some are talking about Adani, some are even talking about Ruto meeting with the Ford Foundation. And so you find out that some of these issues are just a distraction, and of course we shouldn't be distracted by such issues. Personally, I haven't even engaged on such matters because I want to remain focused. And so I'd ask each and every one of us to always remain focused, because, the elephant in the room is Ruto and Gachagua, and the entire regime must go, because we cannot sit back and watch people who call themselves leaders taking this country in a very wrong trajectory. And that's why some of us have decided not just to host these spaces, to go to the ground and speak to the people, to tell them exactly what is happening. Yeah. And so this is also a challenge to you guys who have joined on this space, that let us not just speak on these spaces. Let us not just tweet about what is happening. Let us not just go to other social media platforms to rant and speak about what is happening. Let us go out there, yeah, with the little you have. Of course, go out there and talk to people, explain to them. Like the other day, I was huko Mirimani, somewhere at a place called Kerugoya in Kirinyaga County, and we met some people there. I was with Morara and the people whom we were accompanied with, and now we are speaking to those guys, Jamaa boda boda hapo, and we told them everything you buy in this country, it's subjected to tax. Yeah, even those guys who have the blue badge here, you pay 16% VAT. You pay $8 plus 1.6. That 1.6 is a VAT. And some few months ago, hatukuwa tunakuwa deducted yo mambo ya VAT when we were purchasing the blue badge za Twitter. But saizi, look at those receipts. And so I met those guys and I asked them, how many of us here use Kenya Power, like when you're on a steamer home? And some of them wako na stima. Na nikamwambia anybody mwenye amenunua token juzi anionyeshe simu yake. And the guy akanipatia simu na akanionyesha alinunua token ya 50 bob as we speak, yeah? And I told that guy that when you umenunua hii token ya 50, you paid tax. Akaniambia aje. Nikamwambia read information yenye hapa. Angalia token amount ni how much, umelipa 50 but token amount ni how much. Kaniambia ni 30 and the remaining ni other charges. Nikamwambia hizo other charges zenye ni 20 bob, hiyo ni pesa imeenda huko nyuma ya tax. And so he was like, wow, kumbe it's serious. And now we started to resonate with those guys on the ground. I tried to explain to them how the government inachukua taxes zao, they're misusing them. Nikamwambia okay, nyinyi wengi hapa hamjatumia airport, probably hamjakuwa Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And so issue kama ya Adani taking over the airport, you might think that it doesn't affect you. It's not probably an issue to you. But because you guys are buying token ya 50 and 20 bob is going to taxes, hiyo 20 inasukumwa huko kwa airport. Yeah, inasukumwa kwa other parastatals. And so when these parastatals are being funds zapo zinapotea, it means that out of those funds, jua your 20 bob in will buy kwa token iko huko. Yeah. And so they were like, yeah, it's true. Tukaanza ku resonate now. We explained to them and we had so many ideas there. I collected a lot of information from the ground and I can confirm to you guys.
Mimi tu ama Mabonga amefanyiwa hiyo kitu. Toria.
Simsikii hata.
Atapigiwa simu tena. Anyway, Toria. Mabonga, are you back? Marvin Mabonga. Okay. Toria, I think let's progress to... okay. Mabonga, continue. It's fine.
Okay. Hata nilikuwa namalizia. There is someone who is calling me up every now and then. Sijui nitafanya aje. But generally, people out there, msidhani ati hapa space ndio tumekasirika na sisi peke yetu ndio tuko informed. Pia huko chini watu wako informed. Na the moment pia we visit them to talk to them, explain to them, they get more information what is happening. And of course, they will always rally behind the movement and our idea. So tusikuje tu hapa online, honestly. Let us go out there. Spread the word, spread the gospel, do whatever you can. If your work is just to rant, go to the ground and rant. Ita watu 10 pamoja, anzeni kukaa hapo, pigeni story, tell them what is happening. Yeah, you don't have to have a big crowd. Mimi, the moment tuko tunafika in a town, kina Morana anasema hakuna watu, mimi naambia leta microphone, give me the microphone. Naanza kuongea hapo for almost 10 minutes, watu washaja because they now want to come and hear what we are telling them. And so usiende huko nje ogope ati hauna ground ama nini. The moment you talk to people, you tell them exactly what is happening, they will always listen to you. Those who will resonate with you, they will. Those who will not resonate with you, ensure you try and explain what exactly is happening, because hapo ndio wataelewa. Anyway, let me give it back to Toria to cut out. But I can see Isaac Muhando, your hand is up, so you can go as I try to bring Toria to co-host. Isaac.
Thank you so much, KOT, the co-host Wanyama and Toria, and I like the discussion that is actually going on. And two things. Number one, something that I want to tell you guys, and if I may use Kiswahili, hasidi mkuu wa taifa letu la Kenya ni mwanasiasa. Haijalishi ni mwanasiasa yupi, awe Gachagua, awe Ruto, awe nani. These guys, they are robbing the country for their own selfish gains. And we are the losers. So every time you see them instigating a crisis or a conflict, they just want to drag us into their own differences, right? Maybe someone was looting and is looting more than the other, and the other one feels aggrieved and runs to the streets and starts saying, oh, wanataka kuni impeach. You know, they are playing, these are political mind games that they are playing on us. So one thing that I can tell you guys, we are on our own. But when I say we are on our own, we are marching forward because they know our strength. And their biggest fear is our unity, the way we are coming together and how the young people are getting informed. And this is actually, they were not prepared for this. And this is their biggest fear, even when it comes to 2027. You can see how Raila and Gachagua were enemies. Look at the words they were spewing at each other during the campaigns. Look at how Gachagua used to say, he will territory mark the state house. At no point Raila will get in the state house, right? And you're like, and people are clapping and people are shouting, and and some of people who are shouting, they're now complaining right now. And it's a biggest lesson for us. We need to take this as a biggest lesson so that when we're moving forward, and I like what you guys are really doing on the ground, trying to inform people, let young people get IDs as early as this, let young people register as voters, because they know the vote of the younger person they're not really going to get. And I can assure you, no young person in their own sane mind are going to vote these people. So even us sitting here discussing Gachagua and their differences with the boss, I mean, we're just wasting our time. I'm sorry to say this. We shouldn't even be talking about this. We should be talking about the Adani. We should be talking about the corruption that is going on. We should be talking about, how Kenya Power is robbing us. We should be talking how people are going hungry. We should be talking how there's no medicine in hospitals and what we need to do. We should be talking about the dawn strike. We should be talking about, the teacher strikes and so forth. Because these are the things that are ailing our country, So when they bring this up, I won't be surprised if these guys they know what they're doing, right? Every time you see when young people are focused on a cause, they bring up something, right? You find, 12 bodies were retrieved in Kware, so that, they can shift our mind, shift our focus, because they know we are the voice. And the moment we get together, we scare them. The moment you post on Twitter, you're locked in and it's about to go down. Something is trending in Kenya. Teacher strike is trending in Kenya. That's a scare. But right now, when you start talking Gachagua, they will sit back and call each other in the evening. I think we are doing great, right? Let's keep on injecting. As much as we're injecting on our side, they're also injecting on our side. And these guys know each other. They are not like, no one should lie to you, they are enemies. No. Raila, Gachagua, Ruto, and all these politicians, they know each other. Nanya and Angejua, when Mombasa Governor Joho, the way he used to say he cannot work with Ruto, and he even swore before Allah, and he said, "I cannot work with Ruto. Come rain, come sunshine." Right? See, where is he right now? Even when Gen Zs try to rise up in Mombasa, he's the same guy who is actually using dirty tactics to distract them, So young people, I want to tell you, we are on our own. And when I say this, I'm not saying it in a negative way, because our strength, our unity is our strength. And that's what we need to work forward. We need to unite. We need to, keep rowing. If you go into tubing or boat rowing, the more you row together, the faster the boat move. Lakini mtu mmoja akianza kuzembea, unapata like mnaanza kuyumba. So, young people, I would like even KOT tomorrow, bring another topic. Let's talk. In fact, we should ignore them. They when they go to forums, because I know even their people are here, they are listening to us. They know, wanasema, I think the Gachagua thing is working, We need to ignore them. Give them a blackout so that they know whatever they are doing is a non-issue. It's a non-issue. And Toria did mention at some point, when young people are being killed, their brain being spattered on the streets, right? Where was even Gachagua, right? What did he even say? And right now, he's back on the streets. He wants young people to support him at the same time. And he was not there for them. So this tells you how these people are playing dirty games, and they know each other. So hii kitu ya Gachagua, wacha waende huko. We should, in fact, it should be a non-issue. Hata tusikie tu kwa news Gachagua was impeached without even, we just need to mind our own business. Because these people, they are taking us for granted. Like, they are treating us like, we just like a place where they want to mint money. They want to get rich to support their kids. In fact, their kids are not even in this country. Some of them, when the moment someone gets into power, their kids go to other places because they know the country is not even secure for them. The other day, nilisikia governor wa Machakos ati amebeba pesa. I don't know whether it was true or not true. Amebeba mamilioni, anapeleka wapi? So you can see how these people love themselves. It's only about their tumbocrats. Ni tumbo zao tu, wanajali. They don't really care about us. So let's keep injecting. Let's keep focusing. And as many of you have said, the speakers before, let's maintain our focus. Let's look at those things that made us, made people die on the street. Those people made people be shot on the street. Let's focus on those. Because, those guys are looking down at us and they're saying, hey, guys, do not lose focus. This is why we died. This is why we died. Let's maintain this focus. And someone mentioned something. I don't know if it was Wanyama or someone who said, like, I know you guys came up with this mantra, partyless, leaderless, and so forth. We need a party. Let me tell you guys, we need a political party led by young people. Because that's the only way. In fact, this is going to scare them a lot. As much as we know, yes, we are partyless, we are leaderless, we need leaders because there are these leaders that are going to champion for our rights. So this is the time. I'll be the happiest person to hear that we are registering a political party. And if we can call it Gen Z, I think that will be the best political party that you're going to forge forward. And in that party, then our mantra will be that we are united, we are one, we are Gen Zote, as someone did mention. This is the time we need to start thinking about this. The likes of KOT, the likes of Morara, the likes of these young, powerful leaders we have, the Torias, we need these people to start thinking and have like some think tanks where you guys can sit together and think, what is the way forward? How can we, register our political party? I need to hear people saying, oh, send us some money. We need to register a political party. That's what we need right now. I like what you guys are doing, going to Mashinani, telling these people. But one thing I can assure you, and I'm sorry, I'm not saying I'm a Kenyan, and I love my country so much. Sometimes we become so stupid, and Kenyans ni watu usahau haraka sana. As much as they will be charged right now, Ruto must go. My friend, when it comes to 2026, just 2 years from now, the narrative changes. Watu wenye walikuwa wanabeba matawi nao wameenda huko, they are singing yote yawezekana na Ruto sijui nini. Those things will come, they will come. They will start, musician will start coming up with all these sorts of songs, to support these leaders, because we forget, tunasahau haraka sana. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. And that's why I'm saying, hii moto yenye tuko nayo saa hizi, let this fire never go to vain. Let's register a political party. Let's march forward. I want to see young people in parliament. I want to see Gen Zs in parliament. If you are on this platform and you feel uko na mwito, you want to be an MCA, you feel like you want to be a parliamentarian, this is the time. Don't let that fire go. Because 2027, we need Gen Zs in the parliament. We need Gen Zs as MCS. We need to, wote inafaa tuwafagie wote. The likes of Raila, we are now tired. We are tired. This is our time. This is our time. So let's march forward. Let's have young people in leadership position. Mambo ya kuogopa tu kwenda kwa street. I want to see KOT thinking like, how can I become a member of parliament? How can I become an MCA? How can I become, a CS and so forth? These are the things we need. Mukingoja ati this Ruto atawapatia, mutashangaa sana, because he will be rewarding his cronies. And you can see when he he formed his first government. You can see how he rewarded his cronies. People who even don't have any idea, and he started complaining himself, right? Because he's rewarding his cronies. Who tells you 2027 he will not do the same thing? What when you wamemtetea right now, the likes of Kina Raila, these are the people who will be rewarded in 2027 just in case Ruto goes through. Lastly, as I finish, I have a problem with our justice system in this country. You know, our head of the Chief Justice, yeye ndiye alisimama kabisa na akatumia even I don't know if I may say the language that is the uncivic language that he used in when he was describing the 2022 general election, especially when Raila went to court to protest the elections. You know, they wish-washed us away, right? But now they are learning, and I thank God. Mungu naye alali, wase Mungu alali. These people will be confused, all of them, and I'm praying they get confused kabisa. Yani 2027 ikifika, wakuwe wako confused, they don't know where to go. I'm just praying for total confusion. I'm not saying I want my country to be confused, but whatever they've done to the young people of Kenya, it's unforgivable. It's totally unforgivable. So the justice system, even in our country, needs to be reformed. You know, you can see even people are not obeying court orders. You know, how can even if you do not obey court order and you realize that now the people we've put in office in the justice system, they're just massaging these people. You know, they know what they're doing. Right? So it's like we've lost it. It's like we are losing it on all fronts. You know, the executive is confused. The parliament, they just want money to pass bylaws. The justice system that we have is also like it's not even, it's just like headless, right? So guys, I want young people, those people who've gone to school, those people, if you're aspiring to be a leader, 2027 tunafagia hawa wazee wote. We tunafagia. Toria should think of becoming women's rep of Nairobi. Don't be afraid, because we need young people in this leadership position. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I beg to stop there.
Thank you so much. You've really stated it very well. And apologies first for my lame language previously, and my space was dropping on my side. So apologies for that. Amesha drop. Like the previous speaker said, like we need to stand up when you wanataka kuvai. Gen Zs, we need you in those seats. Go ahead and vie. We will be behind you, here backing you. Akina KOT, Akina Wanyama, Dennis, nothing. Go ahead, vie for those seats. We got you. We'll be here supporting you. And yeah, change starts with us. We cannot expect change, and yet you don't want to go ahead and replace that your MP who voted yes for the finance bill. You can't expect for change, and you cannot go ahead and vie for that governor who went ahead to build a hospital, UK. You know, change starts with us, and yeah, it has been well stated, and let's not lose focus. That's what I can say for now. Let's hear our lady's voice. Nothing hard.
Hi, Taraya. Hi, KOT. Wanyama has dropped off. As usual, I start by saluting our comrades, the ones we lost. I still hurt, my heart aches for them. They were injured, and those who are still missing. Chime in on this conversation about Gachagua impeachment. But this thing is true. There's a fallout. But the only person who didn't see it coming is Gachagua himself. I think there were mamas, even care of that seed. We don't have to burden. Of course, Kena, we have to make sure that we keep KOT and Kena Morara on the road. But you as a person, you know someone. You have families. Those families are married to other families. You have friends you went to school with. You have neighbors. You know people from your church. Speak up. Speak to them. Spend your time, not just on spaces. We are very happy to hear you, but off the spaces, make a point of doing a door-to-door campaign and sensitizing people. We need to have now a viable way of doing it. Today, on that space, there was a lawyer who there's so many, they're making Kenya sound like it's not going to be a prison and a police state where they're consolidating different arm of government to make sure that if something happened, the military, the police, the PSs, and so many other fraternities can sit and make a decision on how to tackle protest, because they're increasingly criminalizing a right offered in the Constitution. So we need people, like the space I was on, I had to collapse it as soon as, I don't know where Rasji is, he was co-hosting for me. As soon as KOT started, I was telling these guys, I need to get off, because I believe in what he does. I believe in the people who turn up for him, and I needed to turn up for him personally. So we need to have a group where we know when KOT is hosting, KOT is addressing civic education. We need people who are going to address agricultural matters. We need legal matters. We need education. People to, we know if, say, it's Mweru hosting, Mweru is talking about education. So that people, because you can have someone on agriculture and they have absolutely no interest. or education, and they have no interest. And so the passion to pursue this can die down. But when someone finds their purpose, they run with it, and there's no looking back on that. That way, we continue screaming on, not when teachers are striking, the strike we watch from the periphery, it fizzles out. So that trying to consolidate, if it's lecturers, now that they're being tear gas, they need to teach the students the need for civic education, following up on their voters' cards, following up on their IDs. Those are the kind of structures we need, so that by the time we say we are hitting the streets again, it will be a mammoth, because someone is highly convicted that, for me, I'm standing for healthcare. Someone else is standing up for education, farmers. That will be a group that cannot be broken. But when we juggle up too many things, and I'm not saying what we are doing is wrong, I'm simply saying we need to figure it out early, because these guys are looking at us and saying, what do young people know? And it's true, we are learning as we go. We need to scoop that ground and have it in our hands, because the minute you grasp it, they can't take it away. Remember, the people on the ground, those are our parents, our grandparents. We need to talk to them in a language that they understand. And so my opinion is, we need to buy a Bluetooth speaker, these messages that are so beautiful that we share here, translate them. There's an AI app that can translate. Or we can have people go to studio, translate the bills. If it's agriculture, livestock, translate them. On market days, would rather raise money for that person. They go and sit with that Bluetooth speaker in a market. Of course, the first day it will be curiosity and weirdness, but as they hear in their own language the issues that are affecting them, they will pay attention. They'll be looking forward to that. You can't go one day and tell a farmer all these things. They'll just sigh in defeat. But when they realize, by the way, this is going to affect you, they get time to think about it. This is going to affect you this way. They think about, with time, they start getting, they start piecing it together. They're like, oh, when they're saying this, it means this. I'm going to defend my land. I'm going to defend my farming. I'm going to defend my food security. And by the time we have an opportunity to face an election, and remember, the government strategy at the moment, because they know the majority is young people, they want to make sure that there is no new registration. Yet the older folks have been conditioned by these people through the churches. So to unpack that mess, we need to have a strategy, and that strategy has to go to the ground. The people who, like QT, came on the space and has been consistent, the people who will be going to the ground and translating those messages, because there'll be people who will be curious, can we have this conversation? They will be the leaders we need. We can't pop leaders online. It will not happen. Or Morara just stood out for himself, and we resonated with what he's doing. KOT the same, and so many other voices. So guys, let's decide if it's on KOT space where we're going to raise money, buy Bluetooth speakers, have them on long distance transport, have them in marketplaces, have them in salons, and
I think just proceed.
Okay, I'm saying people with beautiful voices can hit the studio, translating their mother tongue, and we get those speakers in salons, marketplaces, and our work will be heading the right direction. So, may I ask KOT if you can put your number up? If these people agree, we start fundraising. We look for people on the ground. The way you educated that person about how much tax he's paying through tokens. We'll continue getting this done. The minute we have the ground, this thing is done. It's over, first round. So people should not be very focused on on the street protests, because we have had so many casualties. We need to stand with the families who have been affected. We need to throw our love around them. Go into unis instead of being on the street. Let this movement go underground. Go to unis. Reason with those guys. Reason with their lecturers. We keep moving. We go to hospital. We talk to the entire nation. And imagine if one person does 10 people, and then it continues replicating. Before you know it, the whole country will know a new dawn has come. But the new dawn will not come when we are speaking to ourselves. So let's find people who can do voiceovers over these messages. First, we have to make sure that it's the right message going out. Look for people. Even if we're going to pay the people who will turn up for those market days, we will support them for as long as they can go to the market and upload the videos of what they did, so that they are not bought by people, and then the messages that are being churned out is against us. We saw that with the bill. So me, I'm of the opinion, KOT, put the number up. Let's contribute money for Bluetooth speakers. Let's identify people who can even be on those public transport. Like you have seen how much work Willie Oeba, I hope I'm not massacring his name, how much work he has done, and people are taking notice. Joshua started on public transport. So let's put our money where our mouth is. The ground is where the real deal is. To change those people's mind, we have to speak in their language. Remember, politicians gain votes through the people on the ground. It's the MCA who's powerful. But for now, that MCA cannot. He look at where his bread is buttered. So young people on the ground are the voices who are going to stand up, rise up, channel out the message, because people know there's a problem, but for some it's not quite clear. And that's why these people can turn out some, including if they are given money by politicians, let them take the money, but remember that we need them out. That is the only way we will win this war. So if you guys agree with me, Marvin, KOT, put your number up, people contribute, then we start looking at, because that is a strategy. But what if it falls apart? Where we find there's an error, fix it, pick ourselves up, go, fix and go. Because the only direction is to fail forward. I yield the mic. Thank you.
And I think I heard that you had a question, and please rephrase it. I only just came back. Just this one, Yama. You had a question? Nothing, K.
No, I did not have a question. I was suggesting that we need to have the movement active underground, whereby we reach the masses. And I think I highlighted on what the issues are about these people, because if they impeach each other, they're both going to go. I think both of them, I don't think Gachagua will sit there and be fought. He'll fight back. And that might be the wind that we might benefit from. So before we can benefit from anything, let's take the message to the ground. Thank you.
Hapo sawa. We've heard you loud and clear. In fact, me, I was thinking, watu unaona vile Ruto anaenda sijui wapi kwa ground huko. Mnakumbuka vile Mwambili alikuwa anafanya? Mwambili Mwagodi. Huyo TLL alikuwa anafanya. Akienda hapo mahali anagather crowd pia hapo sasa kidogo tu. Diddy's Baraza used that strategy, by the way, in case you didn't know. He used to wait for people, the opposition, to gather crowds. Mkisha gather crowds, mkisha toka, yeye anaingia hapo sasa. Like you've done the job for him. We could also do a similar thing. Pali wanaenda, if they get to campaign mode, pia si tunaingia campaign mode. But I hear you. I don't know, Binti.
So Wanyama, I wanted to respond to Nothing KE. Of course, she asked if we can do a contribution and buy some Bluetooth speaker, and of course, she just came in on the right time, because At times we were touring some places where we cannot actually use the public address system. Yeah, like there are some videos we've shared. We were just talking to people on the ground, and of course, you find out that it takes sometimes kuna wenye walikuwa wanapiga kelele, so you want something like to amplify that voice, and of course I agree with her. But then we have these people who are using public transport to offer civic education. Of course, we can as well give them the small PA, or I mean the small Bluetooth devices zenye wanaweza tumia. And at times, kama there is a day Oweba was on a bus, and she wanted to speak here on space, but now ikakuwa issue sana because of the noises. And so, and I think I'll talk to you. Then we see how we can identify those people who are doing civic education on their own up on the ground. If we get those Bluetooth speakers, we give them, then tuendelee kuinject. So
hello. I just have a question. Is somebody getting me?
Yeah, we can get you, Sky Minds.
Oh, thank you. I was actually really concerned about Bluetooth speakers. Which content is in the Bluetooth speaker? Like inasema nini? So for example, tuko na Bluetooth speaker inafaa iseme nini ama nini iko hapo ndani? Which kind of education iko hapo? Like itakuwa ikisema nini?
Mabonga.
The message is like
go ahead.
Message we can put on the
yes,
we can broadcast on from the Bluetooth speaker is like the punitive bills, the issues that the government, the changes that they're making, like in education, how that will affect even parents who don't have students in the, at the university currently, but eventually will get there. The healthcare bills, the agriculture, the livestock bill. That's the information we need to get out there.
Oh. Okay, I'm also really concerned about that. You know, currently the government is really fighting so hard to put us down. I'm sure you know that the government is looking at all the ways to make sure that we actually down. That is why you see a lot of division everywhere. There's actually a division in Nyanza. There's also in Nyanza province, the whole Nyanza. No one knows where to follow, and there's also a very serious division in Mount Kenya. So there's a very serious problem going on. So I'm trying to imagine how we are going to put that. Umejua tukiweka vitu kama speaker. Okay, that is my opinion. I'm not saying you buy it. For example, when you stand somewhere and you have a bill, watu wanazoea hizi speakers zinakuanga na worship song ama praise song. So ukianza kuweka kitu yenye kwa against the government, ita spur out a lot of things. Na watu watashikwa wengi sana. Like, najaribu kuimagine venye itakuwa, but anyway, that is actually my own thought. Alafu kitu ingine mi actually ningesema, I don't know if it was my time because I was just concerned about the speaker. Can I continue alafu nimalize? Can I continue, Eddie?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. No, I was also sorry. I was also concerned about this kind of confusion actually in Mount Kenya. Says Mount Kenya, by the way, our hata ni nani. So this impeachment is going to really, really benefit the politician. Most of the politicians are going to benefit. Na mimi ningeomba sana kama hii education, I don't know if we can have a plan on how we are going to educate this thing. Maybe we start from Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya need a lot of education. If there is a very serious investment in civic education, we really need to invest in Mount Kenya. I'm telling you because you know very well that Mount Kenya stands at a very serious gap when it comes to voting. Because they always decide. So wakiamua wanafanya kitu wanafanya hivyo. Wakidanganywa wote watafanya hivyo. I stay in Mount Kenya, but I don't come from Mount Kenya, and I know what I'm saying. So Mount Kenya really need a lot of civic education. I don't know how we can do that. If we can save Mount Kenya, then I'm sure the rest of Kenya will get that direction. Mount Kenya really need a lot of civic education. And you guys, I'm sure you know very well that currently the government is determined to actually silence everybody. That is why I'm sure you've seen there is a way currently the police are treating people is not like the way they were actually treated during the Gen Z protests. Currently they have actually grown very inhuman, very very inhuman. Ukiona tu maandamano popote, polisi wanakuja hapo, mnapigwa tena, mnapigwa tu literally na hata hakuna kitu mmefanya. Alafu they actually know that we are covering it, but hawaoni kama kuna kitu. You guys, I don't know if you saw what happened in Nairobi. Lecturers, my friend, it was very bad. If lecturers can be shown, lecturers hata hawajafanya anything, hawajabomoa nyumba, hawajachoma anything. You guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm actually telling you, if any maandamano inaweza toka saa hii kwa Gen Z, watu wanaweza pigwa vibaya sana. So currently, I'm sure this guy is really determined to put us down. Anything inajaribu kuamka kidogo itazimwa. Anything kitu inaitwa maandamano, watu watakuwa wanapigwa vibaya. So the government is literally designing a way of putting down anything against them. So my own view, as I finish kindly, my own view on the movement, mimi nilikuwa naona kama tunaweza fanya hii civic education, hiyo ni maoni tu yangu, because obviously tukienda kwa ground sisi wote, kwa mfano watu wengi, government ikianza kuona watu wengi sana sasa wameanza kuamuka kwa against the government, wanaongea tu vitu mbaya, na kwa streets wanaongea, they will start arresting people, and that is when tutaanza kuona sawa kama kina Morara wanaweza hata shikwa, by the way. So wanatafuta tu kitu yenye itafanya Morara ashikwe. Saizi wameshindwa, watashika aje? Lakini wanatafuta anyway. So tukikuwa wengi sana kwa streets tukiongea the same thing, naona kama tunaweza zima. Mimi kitu yangu nilikuwa nasema ni tuache Morara atembee kwa streets, atembee akicollect watu, akiongelesha yeye, akiongelesha tu watu, and then sisi watu wengi kabisa tungestick online. So this guy atembee tu, kama kuna venye tunaweza msponsor kidogo, tunaweza msponsor, kama kuna venye tunaweza kumsupport, kama tunaweza mjoin, but most of these movements tuzifanye online tu for this time, tuendelee tu to spite online kabisa, make sure that even people from abroad kabisa, the conversation online ikwe Twitter, ikwe wapi, ikwe everywhere, should just be civic education, ikwe online sana. Then when the time comes in, for example, let us just make people against the government, but to make sure tuna maximize sana ikwe online. Kwa sababu tukiingia kwa streets as early as now, Ruto is still on the seat. Sijui kama tunaweza muimpeach, sijui itakuwa aje. Sisemi ati tuwezi impeach, but this guy has actually seated there. It is going to be very hard for us to remove him unless ni hiyo kitu ya kura. So ni kama tunajipanga kwenda kutoa ujamaa na kura by 2027, then mimi my own option ndo to avoid hii early arrest na kuzimwa mapema kabisa, to maximize sana online civic education.
Bro, hebu kiasi. Mbona tukwe tunaogopa kwenda kuongea hapo kwa ground, alafu tutuongea hapa kwa space? Watu wangapi wako hizi spaces bana? Mimi personally si agree na wewe. Mimi si agree na wewe kabisa.
Sawa.
Yo ni mimi si agree na wewe. Unless kuna watu wengine pia wanakubali. Tuache kwa ground tuongee tu hapa spaces.
Ilikuwa tu nika option. Mimi sina like I'm just trying to imagine venye itakuwa kwa ground kama kila mtu wako so much nuisance against the government na wanatuangalia.
Watashika kila mtu kwa ground. Venye tumekuwa ground wako wanashika.
Hiyo niaje?
Tulia kwanza, Nyali and King. Tulia, tunataka.
Umejua watu wanaweza shika kila mtu.
Wewe acha kututishia bro.
Hapana, si watishia.
Umekuja hapa kututishia na tunakushukuru sana kwa maoni yako. Acha tusonge.
Acha ni nyamaza. Okay, sawa.
Unatutishia na sisi hatutaki kutishika, honestly hatutaki kutishika. Ukianza kuja hapa kutuambia ati tutaenda kwa ground tushikwe, wewe unaanza kututishia. We have been on the ground each and every single day.
Lakini msiseme niko government blogger mzee. Mimi bwana
venye tu unaongea because you are here to send fear to us. We are too broke bana. We are broke even by the fear. Wacha niangalie timeline yako kwanza.
Skymind, hiyo inaitwanga fear mongering. Fear mongering. That's the correct word for it. Alafu ya pili. Ngoja, hapa tutakufukuza. Tunakuambia tu ukweli. Huko hatukufukuzi. Tunakuambia tu ukweli. Ya pili, I want to debunk your idea yako ya kusema ati sijui watu wa Mount Kenya ndio wanahitaji civic education. Hapana. Civic education is everywhere. And I will shout at the topmost of my voice. In the game of numbers, you guys, you're becoming very blind to what Ruto is doing. He does not care at the moment about Mount Kenya because he is empowering Western. Bungoma pali tunatoka, voter turnout ilikuwa 20%, at most 40%. Endeleeni kusema Mount Kenya. He's not stupid maintaining Prime Minister's office and Speaker's office to a certain level. He is not. You might call it tribal at this point, but I'm telling you, for the longest time, Western Kenya has not been well acquainted with these elections. Now, hawajakuwa wakitokezea. In the little numbers they have been showing up with, they have been giving a difference in the numbers. Ya hiyo voter results. Watch what is going to happen. Endeleeni tu kusema Murima. Ngojeni. You see what is going to happen.
So hiyo ujinga ni itoe kwa akili.
Ni wewe mwenyewe kuamua. Si tunakwambia tu kweli. Ni wewe mwenyewe. Unajua the good thing with this movement is tunakuwa advise uamue kama utaamua kutumia akili ama utumia ya wenyewe. Ni tu wewe mwenyewe tu kuamua at this point. Kwa sababu the facts ziko, tumeamua kuacha kuishi with wannabe ideas. Tuishi tu na realities. Tuishi na realities saizi. Population census, angalia vile ilikuwa. Usiangalie mbali from there. That's where the voter registration is going to happen from. Same. So, at some point, it's coming that tutabidi tuanze wase kusema, kama hujachukua ID, chukua. Wale wenye watakuwa liable to vote by that time. Pia, we are supposed to sensitize them. Wengine wako high school saizi karibu wanamaliza. They might be viable voters at that time. Those are the things we need to think about tukiangalia from that point. But hii stories juu ya Murima, ya nini, one way of making them not get what they want is splitting the vote. That's also mbona muangalie hiyo from a political angle. Split the vote. Get something from the share. And with that small that you have as a beginner, unaweza amua what to do with it. But do not lose sight of what I'm telling you guys. Western Kenya, mpende msipende, mnaongeanga tarakanipi, I'm from there. I'm telling you, never have I seen people loving politics like right now in where I come from. Never have I seen. People have been living without identity cards for the longest. Uko chief sahi, get me any chief from Western Kenya. Mukasa, tunaitanga Mukasa. Anyone from Western Kenya can tell you that. Our village elders. Saizi hizo ndo kazi zao.
I know actually.
So, endeleeni kusema Murima left, right and center. He does not care about that because he knows where he is.
Nimerudi Wanyama, nimerudi. Na Sky Mines, sijui unaitwa hate camera. Bwana, usijaribu kutuletea vitisho baridi hapa. Kama ni kutushika, wacha tuende kwa street wenye tutaenda tushikwe. Kama ni kufungwa, wacha tufungwe. But hii mambo ya tusiende kwa ground, tuongee hapa kwa space, honestly mimi siwezi kubaliana na wewe. Nimekuwa kwa call fulani hapa but honestly I can't agree with you. Because we cannot just be speaking here. Hizi spaces haziwezi bring change in our nation if you want change. And so tutoe hiyo mind ya sijui tutashikwa ama nini. Ni watu wangapi wameenda streets? Wangapi wameshikwa? Si tumekuwa tukishikwa. But we are here. So
Personally, by the way, nilikuwa hata nilivunjika mguu. By the last maandamano tulienda, I was actually broken my leg. Nilikuwa jaribu tu ku imagine vitu, but anyway, I think I've bought your point. I'm now okay. Nyinyi watu msiseme mimi niko sijui against Gen Z ndo mnifukuze kwa nini. No. I was just trying to give it my mind, but I think I now buy what you're saying and I'm now well. Unasema ati mimi nimeanza kuchomea no hapana.
Sawa.
Guys,
Sawa.
let me tell you, Wanyama, sorry. Hi, by the way. Hello, guys. Sorry. But it's okay. Sky Minds ni sawa too, because maybe whatever you were thinking, it's the same way somebody else down there in the listeners was thinking. So it's okay for you to come and say whatever you want to say, and then we'll see the way we just corrected you. Somebody else is going to get corrected through you. So ni sawa too, don't worry about it. We're not going to call you anything. Everybody's welcome to come and speak. Like, just know if you do say something wrong, we'll correct you.
Thank you, guys. I'm still healing, by the way. I was broken my leg during the protest.
Sawa. Pole sana for that, Sky Minds. Let me take it back and push it to the next speaker. But nayo mguu bana, hata kama bado haijapona, tunakuomba tu upiganie nchi. Whenever you can, please, endelea kupigania nchi.
Yes.
Let's keep fighting.
I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot, actually. I really appreciate.
Sawa. Keep coming to the spaces and voicing your concern as you've done it. Na tunasonga mbele. Right? Who was next? Binti?
So Mimi, you haven't even introduced me.
Okay,
anyway,
guys,
let's go.
Our fellow co-host is BE Africa. Binti, just take it away.
I'm joking. Let's go. I don't even know who was next, but should we go to the voice of Tonga? Tongaran. I love we go to Nothing KE. Yes. I don't know the order that was there before. I just came in. What's Tongaran? Hi. Voice of Tongaran, I call you as my first speaker. You don't answer me. Like, what's going on? No. Come on now.
Hi guys. Hi Binti. Hey, umejam. Leo sijui nani amekukosea. So,
Niruto.
I was actually trying to turn on my mic, then inanipeleka kwa account ya mse, but I'm back. So, nimepata conversation ikiwa between Sky Minds and Wanyama, and they were talking about Maandamano. Sorry, I was a bit late today. Kuna vitu nashughulikia hapo kwa ground. Now, unajua kuna kitu nimesikia mtu akisema. Hata tukwe tuna hold space hapa daily, it is changing nothing. The real thing is supposed to be happening in the ground. Hapa, it's just for us to plan on how to execute. On the right way, we are going to perform. Na vitu zingine zi happen kwa grao. Bila grao, hawa sewa jui shit. Tumekuwa na Kioti Sonko kwa grao for the past like 3 days in Mount Kenya. Na nakwambia, if we continue that way with civic education, we are changing a lot. Ni watu wengi hawana a lot of information. Imagine Kioti Sonko was explaining to somebody ya kwamba akilipa token ya 50, 20 shillings ni tax. And that guy is not aware that analipa tax. Unamuuliza, unalipanga tax? Hajui kama analipa tax. Na hiyo ndo kitu yenye Wakenya inafaa wajue. Kwa sababu Mkenya kama huyo, hata akisikia sahi 1 billion imeibiwa, akisikia 20 billion imeibiwa, akisikia 300 million imeibiwa, hajui uchungu yake kwa sababu anasema si pesa yake. Na watu wengi sana wako huko interior. They need to learn a lot. So it's for us to kuje, volunteer, let us push the message, let us educate these people. Kwa sababu without educating them, we are heading nowhere. Tutashinda tu hapa social media, nimeongea na kina Sky Mind, nimeongea na Wanyama, nimeongea na nani, but the real deal is on the ground. And that is where Ruto hutumia advantage. Kwa sababu yeye sahi ako na agents wake, wamepewa pesa, waendelee kusifu jina yake pale chini. 2027 ikifika, kama hatutakuwa ready, atatunyorosha kwa game yetu. And that is what we are trying to avoid. Kwanza hata hatutaki ifike 2027. We are very tired with this country. hii country imekuwa tu kitu ingine yenye tu hata you don't feel proud of Kenya. Mtu hata akikuuliza unatoka wapi, you don't want to tell them where you come from. We want a better country. We are the leaders of tomorrow. Usiseme hauna do, usiseme hauna chochote. You just stand up, begin the journey. Safari ya 1,000 miles begins with one step. That step is important. Before you make the second step, utakuwa ushapata direction. Sisi wote tunang'ang'ana. Sisi wote tuna struggle. Don't give up. Our government bloggers achana na wao. Tunajua they are paid. Some are even paid poorly, up to 200 shillings per day. Na amekuja amekutusi hapo, unadhani analipwa millions of money. Kwao shida hakuna. Kumbe kwao shida iko, anajaribu kukimbia hiyo poverty na kulipwa 200 per day. That is bad. It is really bad. Poverty is our enemy. Na hiyo poverty ndio yenye wanasiasa hutumia. They put us into this situation ya kwamba you are not able to acquire something, you are only able to feed yourself once a day, you are able to do these casual jobs, hawezi pata jobs zenye zinalipa poa, ndio tuendelee kuishi kwa hiyo poverty. Kwa sababu tukitoka hapo, there will be no, hawatakuwa watu kwetu, they will have no meaning to us, na hiyo ndio kitu hawataki. You just watch. I want to give you an example. How many companies have come to Kenya, international companies, zenye zilikuwa zinataka kusaidia wa Kenya, especially online jobs. What happened to them? Talent jobs. What happened to them? What hata nisiende mbali. Let me just touch an example of our own SportPesa. What happened to SportPesa, which was nurturing talents? Yenye imetuletea hadi team ya England. Vijana wetu hapa wametoka ghetto, wakapata nafasi ya kucheza na wachezaji wa England, wakapata opportunities. They are growing, wana renovate stadiums, wanajenga stadiums, wanapewa wachezaji wetu kits. Si wachezaji wa national team, hawa wachezaji wenye wako na talanta wenye hawaonekani. What happened? The government killed it. Government inaua kabisa, ina make sure they don't exist. Hawataki. Si ati tumeshindwa kusaidika kama Kenya tukue like the countries we always given examples every day like Singapore. But our borders are not open. Investors can't stay in Kenya even for a second. The economy is too harsh. Taxes every right, left, center, every corner need taxes. Sasa business itagrow aje? Kama mimi mwenyewe siwezi survive kwa hii Kenya. What about somebody who is coming to invest into Kenya? Atakaa kweli? So guys, there is a lot of work to do that need us. Inatuhitaji sisi wote, si mtu mmoja. Si tuachie sijui KOT, si tuachie Morara, si tuachie sijui nani anafanya. We need to do it. Right, left and center, tusiwape nafasi wapomwe. Kama tumeamua ni hapa, ni hapa. That is the only way we are going to go. Hata sahi nasema tukitoa rais, tumetoa president, lakini bado parliament imebaki hii mkebe ya watu wenye tuko nao sahi kwa serikali. People who are very useless, hakuna kitu wanatusaidia. Ni tumbo zao wanajaza tu hapa na kuiba pesa right and left. Hakuna kitu tutakuwa tumefanya kwa sababu anything yenye president atakuwa anataka ya kusaidia wa Kenya haitakuwa inaenda through. Sahi we have somebody who is saying anateswa, anadhulumiwa. Anateswa na ako ndani ya serikali. Ako na mshahara ya ushuru ya wa Kenya. Ako na security yenye ni wa Kenya wanalipa. Anatumia expenditure kutoka kwa mfuko ya ushuru ya wa Kenya. Na anasema anadhulumiwa. Anadhulumiwa na nani? Si awache hiyo kazi. Kwanza kitu ya kwanza akuja tuambie ni pesa ngapi ameiba na ni nini wanakorofishana na ni deal gani hiyo yenye amekataa kupatiwa yenye anaanza kusema hapa ati sijui anadhulumiwa, sijui anateswa. Hiyo mambo hatutakubali. We are not going to give any politician sympathy votes again. Kwa sababu inatuumiza sisi, inarudisha uchumi yetu nyuma, tunavotia watu wanakuja tu kazi yao ni kuiba. We were in a place called Karura with KOT Sonko. Hata anaweza testify na aseme. It is very sad. That place has a dispensary. Mtu akitaka kuzaa, mama akitaka kuzaa anaenda 30 plus kilometers ndio azae. Wengine wanazalia kwa barabara wanakufa. It is very sad. MP alionekana hapo time ya campaign. MCA alionekana time ya campaign. Governor alionekana time ya campaign. President alifika huko time ya campaign. But sahi hakuna mtu ashawahi fika huko. Hospitali hiyo dispensary inafunguliwa 2 days in a week. KOT Sonko ni witness, and the rest, we were there. Many of them wako hapa, but they were there. See, things are not right. Tusionge tu hapa kwa space, tuingie ground. Let us push. Na mtu yote mwenye anafeel anataka kujoin the movement, feel free to DM. Come, whatever thing you want to support. You might not be on the ground, but unaweza to support in one way or another. Kwa sababu it's not easy. Watu wengi tumewacha shughuli tunafanya, tunaenda kupeana hii civic education. It is tough. Kuna you have the expenses to food to eat after umetoka huko grao. You need to look for a place to sleep. Una fuel ya gari. So, it's a lot. It's a tough journey, lakini we must conquer. Kwa sababu Ruto lies all the time. And all the time Ruto lies. And that is his nature. Nothing is going to change if we don't put in effort and action. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza. Voice of Tongarena.
So Voice of Tongaren, I just jumped in kwa nini, just the nini venye umesubmit. And so guys, honestly, on the ground, especially huko mlimani, huko mahali mnasema sijui on the mountain, people are really suffering. Your constituency umesema inaitwa Mbeere South, mahali kunaitwa Karura. Yeah, huko mahali bana, it's interior. Hakuna stima, hakuna maji, hakuna dispensary venye jamaa anasema. Huko shopkeepers kitu wako nayo tu ni majani, sukari, hizi vitu ndogo ndogo tu. Na jua like it's like almost 30 degrees centigrade. Na vumbi, njia yao like ni vumbi tu. Honestly, watu mnatoka hiyo constituency kama uko hapa, and you feel like you can bring change in that constituency, ensure that MP mwenye hapo he goes home as early as hiyo siku tutapiga kura ya kwanza. I talked to a certain mother there. Na hospitali dispensary inafanya huko, it only operates on Monday and Tuesday. And marking that dispensary, there is no maternity ward. Hakuna hata choo. Madam alikuwa anatuambia hii dispensary yetu hapa haina choo hapo ndani. There's no latrines. Anyway, acha tu tuendelee. Nyalian King, jambo. Sijui kama ananisikia Wanyama binti, so you can tell that.
Nyalian King? Nyalian King, I can see your hand up. Can you hear us? Okay, so tuende kwa Samuel Kasuni. Samuel Kasuni.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, good evening. Talk to us.
Good evening, and thank you for the space. And thank you for KOT Song for accompanying Morara to his civic tours. I think now we trust more that we are getting more involved in the ground civic education. Mine is to say that for us who are not able to go on the ground, let's come on Morara's Twitter account, so that there are so many government bloggers there who are watching everything he posts, so that they can paint a very different picture. And one of the biggest fear of the government right now is having a party that will be able to be against the big two parties. We know that ODM is owned by Raila. UDA is owned by Ruto. Wiper is owned by Kalonzo. So those are three biggest enemies right now for Morara and the rest. So the other thing is Morara needs to package himself to be a movement, not the name itself. So we need to see, like when we are talking with KOT Song, we should know that we are talking with a movement representing a certain agenda. So he needs to increase the number I've seen several people asking him to also reach out to people like Paul Kimani to be able to accompany him, so that all those people who are seriously involved in the movement, even though we don't know their motive right now, they can be seen with him, and people build more and more trust in those people. So mine is just a general request for us, maybe who are in Kenya or in diaspora. Let's be the first people to be able to defend the movement and to watch. Lastly, all the big bloggers, we call them the big wigs, I also saw them that they have a narrative, they are against any political party, because those are activists. Those are people who work for the highest bidder. So having a certain direction and making certain initiative more ideologically aligned with more people is a threat to them. So let's be very careful with those big bloggers. Even when they are with us, we should be very careful, because they can join us and destroy us from inside. So let's ask everybody to come on board, but we be very careful. But so for now, all the problems of Kenya starts with the politics. And the politics is through a political party. Nothing less than that. So that is what we should be targeted on. Lastly, we can't erase the issue of tribalism. Right now, what you are seeing is, I saw band being grilled in the parliament, so Ruto is setting up some people so that it can be seen like they are being fought to create the emotion. So Ruto has no chance of winning 2007 election. The only way we can win is through emotions. So he'll try as much as possible to do things which are very extreme, so that people can know that you cannot be in power without following your tribe. So he'll make the most tribal appointments. That will make people so emotional to think that unless you belong to a certain tribe in government, you'll never get any position in the government. That's a strategy very well, and it's working. So let's work against those forces. Those who cannot, will try as much as possible to support financially, and everybody to play his own role. But at the end, let's see that we have a common end goal of having a good governance. Once we have good parties like what you see in UK or US, where a party like Democratic or Republicans is owned by nobody, it's just there. People can just be crowdfunded. Then I think we'll be able to move forward. He also needs to, the other thing lastly maybe is that issue of trying to reach out to these other guys, like, I don't know whether they are with us, people like Eric Omondi. I'm not sure. I've not been close to them. But let him reach to them, so that when we have only one voice of Gen Z every time, so that we don't have one person speaking in a different perspective. Let him reach to this lady. We really fought her when she tried to expose some DMs. But all those people, we need them on board. And that should be the spirit of the movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Samuel. One thing I want to say is you're very right. This thing needs all of us.
It's invested in the community itself to build.
Speaking in one voice. We need to be united at once. And you're right, the diaspora, we need to be the biggest supporters, because you see, we're not suffering the same struggles as those guys on ground as such physically, virtually to us. So we need to be the biggest supporters. So that actually brings me to my next question, because I wanted to actually direct it to Voice of Tongaren. Guys, let me ask you, do you think that these spaces are pointless? Do you think that 100% agree that we need to be on the ground? That's not a question at all. But do you think that these spaces are useless? Because if they are, then why do we just stop doing them?
Yeah, Binti, I maybe you misunderstood my point. I didn't actually mean that the spaces that we are hosting are actually useless, because you see, these spaces are giving us an opportunity to interact with the world. Let me not say about Kenya alone, because we have people who are on this space from outside Kenya. So it's giving us an opportunity to air our voices, to speak about it. It is not actually useless, juu tunapanga kila kitu hapa. Then the rest ni action kwa ground. But you see, at times inafika to a point whereby if we can discuss something here, plan, and then if we get the execution point, and then nothing happens, so unaona hakuna kitu tutakuwa tumefanya. So I was actually talking on a point where I wanted to encourage anybody who is on this space. Kwamba when we have something, a movement that is going on the ground, they appear. Isikwe tu wanaapia kwa space na kwa grawa wakuji. Kwa sababu if we are going to continue that way, kutakuwa na any action. We can be here throughout, talk, plan, say where you feel something is not going right, wapi kuko wrong. But kama tuingi ground pia, haita make that big difference. But the space is very important. Jubila hii space sahi hakuna mtu angekuwa anajua kuna mtu anaitwa Voice of Tongaren, hakuna mtu angekuwa anajua kuna Binti Africa, hakuna mtu angekuwa anajua what are your thoughts, what are you actually thinking, what are your plans, how can we do it. Haingekuwa pia hii space. We are getting a lot of support. You see, that day we had an accident tukiwa na kina KOT kwa gari ya Morara. You see, kuna watu walitutafuta wakatucall, waka make sure tuko sawa. They even supported us with any alternative yenye walikuwa nayo, walitusaidia. Others walitubaya hadi breakfast asubuhi. So these spaces are important kwa sababu we are linking, we are getting those connections zenye hatungepata tukiwa kwa ground. So ni ile tu, we want to make sure we are leaving no stone unturned. Be it online on social media, be it on the ground, wacha kila kitu ichemke kila pahali. Isichemke tu kwa media peke yake. Something else?
No, so understood. I just wanted to get some clarification, and for any minds that are unsettled in the listeners panel, I wanted you to be their voice, in quotes. So thank you very much, Voice of Tongaren.
And to add up on something before you wind up, and Ajua, it's not easy. You see, being a host on this space, si rahisi. I know you guys are sacrificing a lot. Simu zenu saizi imechemka, ingine hata ni moto inaisha, ingine hata ni bundles inaisha kama huko kwa wifi. Like tukiwa na KOT huko kwa Grawa aliweka space na bundles zilikuwa zinampeleka teketeke. Ndio nikajua ikuangi kazi rahisi. Nikasema mimi hata nikiona ako kwa space na niko na kitu M-Pesa narusha teketeke. Narusha teketeke. Si rahisi. Ni tough. Na wale watu wenye mnaona mko na support yoyote mnaweza tupatia, jitokezeni. Tunawahitaji right now more than ever. Kuja, wewe unajua unaweza avail yourself, uko na gari, you are not hujashikana kazini, kuja gari yako tutumie kwa msafara iongezeke, tukue wengi. Gen Z, hii ndio time yenu ya kupump sasa kabisa. Hiyo ingine wale watu wenye wayuko available kwa ground, wacha tuweke mafuta. Sisi tuende, tuingie grao, mbaya. Tusiogope, hiyo damu ya wale jenzi wetu wenzetu ndio maana amefanya, hao ndio watu tuna reject. Sauti ya mwananchi. Kenya ni home na home ni Kenya. Na mimi by the way nikipata support vizuri, lakini wacha nisiongee zaidi, wacha nipeane nafasi mwingine aongee. Saidiane majamaa.
Asante sana, Voice of Tongaren. We hear you. Yes, kabisa vile nafaa. By the way, we need to support each other. Whether it's these spaces, qua ground, we need to inject this thing from all corners, literally all corners. I was going to go to Mweru next, but I don't know where she's gone. So Mweru, if you can hear me, just come back to the speakers panel and I'll give you to the listeners and I'll give you the mic. But for now, I'll go to Nyolamo. You had your hand up before. Are you here with me?
Yes, Binti, I'm here. I can hear you so well. Thank you so much for offering me this opportunity. It's all
Nyolamo too.
Yeah, it's always. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, sawa. Let's go.
You can hear me?
Oh, can you guys hear Nyolamo too?
Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay.
Tunamsikia sisi, unless when do.
Okay, good. It's always a pleasure, man, to have this opportunity. Not for echoing anything here right now, but I don't have much to say. But one thing I wanted to emphasize on is at this time we need a positive energy. You know, even if we are not making it, we have to make it as a team. Always one team, one fight, you know. So hata kama wanatumia, I believe like even if they're using their own strategies to do whatever, if you know it's something that will discourage us, don't bring it here. Let's look for our way of going around it and making it possible. Then another thing that I wanted to also to talk about, which Binti has talked about, everybody's talking about it here, is support. I was able to watch KOT this time, how they were doing it. In fact, there was a whole lot, and I kept on retweeting it and retweeting everything. So retweeting really matters a lot, because guess what? If you think you are the only one looking at it, somebody might not even just be looking at it. But if you have a friend and a friend has a friend and a friend has a friend, guess what? That retweeting will make it known that, hey, Morara did this, and you know Morara is having a lot of fight against him. So if people start joining the same thing, like mtu fulani alisema hapa, hey, let somebody take agriculture, somebody take whatever. So the Kenyans will start, ignorant Kenyans will start knowing that, hey, kumbe, this thing is serious. These are not just people who are to be on the street. These are people that really wants us to advance, and nothing ever comes as simple. So let's just do a lot, give these guys money, whatever we can give them, energy, if we can give them, whatever we can offer them, because they have volunteered to be over there. If I can't, let somebody do it for me, and let me help them in another way. That's all I had today.
Thank you very much, Nyalamo. I couldn't hear at first, but I'm back. I'm sorry. But I want to say, first of all, you're very right. However we can help, let's help. You even heard Voice of Tongaran saying that this thing, running this space, is not easy. So if you can support Mabonga on that line, 07104-52543, please do, because he's spending his own money, his own time on this. So please support him, our brother, where you can. Again, this is Sauti ya Mwananchi, hosted by your very own KOT Sonko, aka Mavi Mabonga, co-hosted by myself, and we other have a co-host, Wanyama, Ayo, Kowino, and Rabia. So please support this space through that number for Mavi Mabonga. Okay, so let's go to Masculinity Men Together Hub. Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Good evening, guys. Thanks for this opportunity.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. So actually, I want just to give my submission concerning the civic education. Actually, you guys are really doing a good work. But do you believe like maybe at the moment we really need that civic education? Because like bearing in mind, like most of us maybe voted for Ruto. Like we voted for Ruto and we are so much educated at the end of the day. So I think maybe we do vote based on emotions. And I think that's what trickles down to the community and the villages. And Maki, you're finding like maybe the government is so much clever now. They're really empowering those people like the chiefs, the sub-chiefs. So you'll find like getting to the people, it will be easier because somebody maybe has been employed by the government and maybe a large portion of them. So they'll end up saying like, if I vote the government out, my job will be gone. And maybe the beneficiaries who are benefiting from this employment will feel maybe they'll be threatened and stuff. So actually, I think it's all about like the government will be using blackmail and stuff, maybe to get whatever they want. Like they've created a system that maybe that will favor the government more. So I was just trying to think like, as far as we are talking about civic education, we should also impress on maybe the education system should be strong enough so that at least for the future, because where we are today, or the voice that we have today, is just courtesy of good education that maybe we received at some point. and we have now abandoned our ignorance because we have already learned that the voice and the decision depends on us and really affect the education system. Like we should need to protect the education system of Kenya so that at least in the coming future, we can't have people maybe who may be less informed or less educated so that they can be manipulated by the government. And also this part of youth and the system is so corrupt, and the system is the one that has glitches. That's why most of the people, they have those ambitions, they have those agendas, but once they are in government, they do change. Like you won't even believe that this is the same person who was really, really advocating for the people and for the change. For instance, we can get the example, maybe Ababu Namwamba. He was somehow young some years ago, and he was really, really vocal. And look at him now. You can see that guy, Mwirigi. Mwirigi never had money when he was vying for these offices. I think he was walking around with some bikes and stuff. And through sympathy, he got the opportunity to serve. Then, where is he now? The Toto girl and stuff. Actually, as much as we youths, we are really striving to join the government or to work with the government so that we can bring change, I don't think maybe that will be a solution. In the short term, actually, maybe we'll have maybe achieved our personal goals, but at the end of the day, as a country, we still lag behind. I was thinking like this: we try to fight maybe to make sure like the system will discourage those people who enter politics for money and or for personal benefits. Like for instance, maybe if we try through courts and stuff so that we can reduce this the salaries and maybe the packages for these elective seats, for instance, the members of parliament and stuff, so that at least that position should be a calling. Maybe you want to leave a legacy and maybe it's capped for 10 years. So you'll be required to work within that 10 years to accomplish whatever you wanted to accomplish. If maybe by that 10-year period you won't have accomplished, it would be like some form of regret because the legacy will not be there for you. And I think with that, people will be really, really serving the wananchi so that at least they can leave something behind that can be memorable and maybe can be by their name. And for instance, this MCS, it's actually most of these MCS, I think most are youths, and maybe they have this ambition. They want to be MPs, they want to be presidents in the future, the governors, and I think those ambitions make them more corrupt because they want to gain more money so that they can go for higher offices. So I was just trying to think, maybe if we just maybe regulate these salaries, we come up with some strategy where we'll now make sure like these MPs, these MCS, they'll have some certain salaries and maybe just cap to salaries, maybe whatever the CDF it is and other funds, they are managed by independent bodies so that at least there will be no conflict of interest where now it's like most of the people will be there to serve wananchi, and at the end of the day we'll get whatever we want. And also this part where manifesto maybe is very, very important. I think we should have some certain form of regulation where at least we have a constant manifesto. Like party 1, party 2, party 3, they are given same manifesto. So their main concern should be like to address how they'll make sure like they accomplish these 1, 2, 3 manifestos. Not that you are just being creative, you create your own manifesto that maybe you think is better than your competitor. But at the end of the day, like I won't be doing anything. You see, like maybe you can just go back maybe 2013, you had these laptop things by the government. And actually they tried it, but it never worked very well. That's why it was dumped, and maybe somebody else picked something else. And Makiu, this is something that we have invested a lot of money as a country. It has been budgeted and stuff, but there's no accountability for such a thing. So I think it should be people-centered manifesto where now we try at some point where we raise our issues, maybe as much as maybe those people are moving around with civic education, they should also be trying to gather whatever problems they have in such a particular community, so that at least these manifestos should be people-centered. And at the end of the day, I was also thinking if they can have devolution of whatever they're trying to do, so that at least if you are in Bungoma, you are organized, people from Bungoma can do some oversight, can do some civic education, not maybe Koti Soja is in Karura, tomorrow it'll be in Mombasa and stuff. As much as it will gain some popularity and maybe you'll be moving around, maybe you're doing some work, but I think at the end of the day, you'll be exhausted and we'll have maybe limited leaders at the end of the day, because in Kenya, maybe we want youth leaders in every constituency or in every county and stuff. But maybe if we'll all drive our energy towards 3 people, 4 people, at the end of the day, these 4 people won't bring much change that maybe we are really yearning for. So actually, my submission was, let's embrace, maybe let's help whatever we can from our little level. Let's participate, let's support one another. And also, like, you people should try to work together. I saw that girl maybe who was trying to fight the slogan Kenyan Home. Actually, I think if we can just incorporate one another, we can agree, we can disagree, but at the end of the day, maybe if we have a common interest, we can put our differences aside and work together so that we can make sure by 2027, at least we'll achieve something. Because whatever we stay, anytime we stay disunited, we'll end up maybe derailing our program maybe to 2032. And actually by that 2022, most of people will have given up because they'll be like, we have tried, but we never achieved whatever we wanted. So capping at 2027, we need to strategize so that at least we are so popular in the ground. We have done maybe the civic education very well. We have also identified the problems that are affecting us in the societies. And at the same time, we are still fighting for these salaries and eliminations for these public offices, so that at least it should not be only attracting corrupt leaders where it's like a matter of life and death. Yeah, I think that's my submission tonight.
So thank you very much, Masculinity Men Together Hub. Lakini, I have a question. So I agree with some things that you said. You said, yes, we need to regulate the salaries of these people. We need to strengthen our education system. Yes, both of those I agree with. Then you also said that our votes are based on emotions. But before that, just before that, literally before that, you asked even, do we need civic education? So if our votes are based on emotions, do you not think that we do need civic education?
Yeah, actually, like previously it was so much based on emotions, because even if you try to ask somebody what was the manifesto that maybe UDA presented, and most of the people don't know, like it was just a Mtuetu syndrome, like mimi nisha make decision, because I tried to argue with somebody sometimes back before the election and was trying to reason out from there. It's okay, you're trying to support this side, maybe let's just sit down, let's talk and see maybe what they are bringing to the table, and maybe is it aligning to our societal norms or whatever we want as a community. But knowing that she will lose the conversation, she just said like, hawa tuwote ni wezi, kila mtu support mwizi wake. You know, I think that was a high level of ignorance as a community, but we are now a step ahead because we are now realizing the impact of education and also the importance of making the right decision, because they really affect us on day-to-day life. So actually, by now, civic education is kind of important, because we are already informed now. We need to trickle down that thing so that it can also impact the people at the grassroots levels.
So, thank you. I just had to clear that up with you to make sure I was understanding you correctly. Thank you very much. I won't go through your whole name, but thank you. Okay, so let's go to Dennis Shege. I saw your hand up at some point. Then Dennis, then Anthony, and then Kim001, then Rojo, like that. Thank you very much, Dennis. Dennis, can you hear me? Can anybody hear Dennis? Dennis, I don't think we can hear you. Just drop for a second, then I'll bring you back up onto the speakers panel. Let's go to Anthony next, if that's okay. Hey, where's Anthony? Okay, Kim001, you're here. Kim001, can you hear me?
Am I audible?
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who requested the mic because of that Skyline guy. I really hate people who come to spaces to fearmonger, but I am really happy that Wanyama and KOT Sonko really went ahead to deal with that bullshit he was trying to bring around here. And it's in that on that note that I really need to caution us, because you really don't have to be a government operative, as he was trying to tell us. But if you're really trying to do what they always do, that is trying to sow the seeds of division and the seeds of fear. I'll tell you, the difference between you and the government blogger is that he's getting paid, you're not. Or you're really using our space to audition for such a position so that you can also go justify why you also need to be included in that small payslip. So anytime we come across such people, they should be dealt with immediately and with the firmness that they really deserve. I think I'll be making a submission later, much later, but I'll still be listening. I have to first do something a bit on this side of mine.
No problem. Thank you very much, Kim001. Welcome back to the mic whenever you get back. I'm actually going to skip the queue before I get back to Anthony, because I can see there's a lady on the panel. So Moiru, hi. Moiru, can you hear me?
I kind of wanted to piggyback on something Wanyama said, that we need to focus on the numbers and familiarize ourselves with the statistics and data from the last census, because I said this before, that when it comes to numbers, we were very limited compared to, I don't even want to compare it to the US, to where if you're running for office, you can deduce down to the zip code to know who is registered to vote, who they voted for, and from that you can build a campaign and know what the target is. We don't have access to that much information and numbers. I mean, if we look at the last census, We keep talking about tribalism here. These guys are not even worried about tribalism. Like I said, according to the statistics, only 7%. That is only 9 million. Luyas, 14%. That is 7.6 million people. Kalenjin, 13%. That is like 7 million people. Luo, 10%. That is 5.4 million. But the number these people are really worried about is a 5% majority, which in 34 years, that makes 40 million. 40 million of us. And that is up to 34 years. So people like me who are older millennials are not even factored into this number. And that's the number they're focused on. And introducing, and that is what you see. For one, he paired up with Raila so he can start getting that base. And in short, what they're trying to tell us is they're very, very scared of 2027. Very, very scared. That is why they're doing. They're starting so early to start fighting for this. Because this is, I keep saying, this is the first time I believe in Kenyan history that these people are So the only way to help fix Kenya, honestly, opinion, is if we win, we have one party, we register all our candidates under one party, we win presidency, we take DP, and we take majority in the Senate and in the parliament. Because even if, say, for example, Morara wins by himself, he's going to have to deal with these people. So we need to clean a whole clean slate. And how do we achieve this? As we're doing civic education on the ground, like KOT and Morara are doing, we need to empower people to know that they need to come out and run. And we need to be very, very precise about what we're doing. We need to be very, very intentional. Civic education is key, but the only way it's going to work is if we present people alternatives. So even if we civic education and we civic educate the whole country, then what? Who are they going to vote for? We have to present an alternative. And that is the main thing. Personally, I have decided that I'm going to focus on is we need to present a better alternative. If you guys remember when Obama started running for the first time, why do you think Obama won? Obama did not win because miracles. No, he won because he was a fresh alternative for people. He triggered people. He gave people hope, and a whole group of people whose votes had been disfranchised before had a reason to go and register and to vote because they had a new face to vote for, and they basically identified with this person. And if we do not take in and realize that if we miss this opportunity where the youth are basically right now so empowered in Kenya, if we do not take advantage of this opportunity we have now, honestly, the next generation is the only salvation we will have. Our planning. I keep saying I have been counting. I have been keeping track of the days. Right now, as we're talking, we have 1,046 days to the next election. What are we doing? I love what Morara is doing, what KOT and these guys are doing. But in the process of doing this, we need to become very, very intentional. We say occupy parliament, we occupy Senate, and we occupy the State House. That is our mission going forward. As of protesting, as much as I am for protesting in Maandamano, let's be realistic. The last Maandamanos we have planned have not materialized because the numbers have not, been as big as compared to the last big one we had. The numbers are dwindling when it comes to protesting. So we have to engage in a strategy that is realistic and very logical and practical. So let's as we have these spaces, as we talk, we need to start identifying leaders. When you go on the ground, as much as you're teaching people about taxes, which I love, tell them, I need you to produce a Gen Z MP, I need a Gen Z MCA, I need a Gen Z governor, I need a Gen Z. This is how we're going to change Kenya, because as much as even when we take office, we still need to prosecute these people. And the things, these guys have been in there for 30 years. We are talking about bills and laws they passed just to have legal corruption. So we have a lot of cleaning up to do, a lot of dirty laundry to clean. The information we have right now is just 0.000%. But once people get into those offices, oh my God, it's going to be bad. Like, we will have a lot of cleaning up to do. And you need an entire team. And that is why I keep insisting. We need to register one party. We register all the candidates under one party. Our goal needs to take up majority. We need to take majority. House, Senate, we occupy everywhere, literally. And it's not impossible. It is very, very, very possible. Very possible. I saw it happen in the U.S. because I was new in the U.S. when Obama ran for the first time. And I happened to live in a city that was majority black people who had never, ever voted. Because according to history, they have been taught that their vote did not count. Even if you vote, it doesn't count because most of the candidates were always white. So your vote doesn't count. And these people are not going to work for you. And the system is against you. And he gave them that empowerment where they came out and voted, and almost over 60 million of them voted. People voted. So let's sit here and talk and talk and talk and hit the ground. But ultimately, the only way we would fix this country is we have to take power. And I'm very proud of people like AOT who have come up and said what they want. That is what we need. What do you want to do? What position do you want? Personally, if I was in Kenya, I would have gone for governor. I don't care. I would have is if we completely take up power and we change it and we prosecute these people, we amend the constitution to where corruption becomes a capital crime, and we don't care how much you steal. If you steal as much as $1, it's capital punishment. We have to develop that kind of zero tolerance. Anyway, I'll just be quiet for now and continue listening.
If I may be allowed to respond, just
a moment. I wanted to add something. You say that we need to fill these positions with Gen Z leaders. So let us not put it just Gen Z, but leaders of integrity, because we might get a Gen Z who will not be the kind of person that we want, who will turn out to be like the people we have right now in power. So we need to evaluate, get leaders of integrity, put them in power. Not everybody can be.
No, I agree with you. And that's why we need to realize that time is of essence now, because we have time now. If you said you're going to run for MP of a certain county, we have time to vet people and see who we want as part of our party or part of our movement. So I do understand that having leaders have to be of integrity, but we also have to vet them from the get-go if we will affiliate with them. And then when I say Gen Z, I mean Gen Zote, everybody. But that is why it's key for us to have our own party so we can set up our own rules and decide who we want.
I think he just hit two things that I really wanted to comment on. The other guy talked about Gen Z. I know in your mind you were saying, hey, a fresh blood, not Gen Z, because we have so many people that could be as old as like 70, 80, but have their right minds and have been true to the government. Now, coming back to vetting people, I think what we need to emphasize on here, personally, I think it's the policies. We should start looking at what are we looking at when we are choosing a leader. That is what we should really look at right now. Let's not even do vetting, because as one person said, the two guys that went to the parliament last time were seen in our eyes as the best guys and very ready to do everything, and Babu Namwamba and everybody. So let's look at their background, 5 years, 10 years behind. What have they been doing? What have they done? Are they corrupt, attached, or is there anything that can taint them? Because if somebody even try to steal money from somebody, even from a mom, I don't think that person can be true to us. So that's what I wanted to say, that let's look at the policies, let's look at what tools we should have to look for our leaders, and this is part of the civic education. Let's not look at right now, because all these people are winning because they are playing politics of right now. Politics of like, I give you this, give me back this right now. And people are foolish enough to get into this. People are not looking at their future. Ask this person, like say, Voice of Tongaren here is posting, he wants to be a governor. Now, for me to have him as a governor, I want to go 10 years back. Where has he worked? What has he done? You know, he doesn't have to have done a big job or anything, but what is his background like? Now, what is his future? What does he anticipate the future will be like for us, for our great-grandkids, not just him to get money and, you know, pocket it and go home. No. What does he intend to do? Is he just doing it for the name? Is he just doing it for something else? Or is it doing to create an impact which will affect the future? That's all I wanted to say.
I don't hear anybody speaking, but let me just add on to one thing before I fall off. Yeah. So I said we have 1,046 days to the next election, and we need 1,930 candidates. That's who we need. And we're a population of 40 million. If we're going to just focus on Gen Z and millennials, which I don't find it unreasonable for us to be selfish in this essence and say we want millennials and Gen Zs. I don't find anything wrong with that. We have been the ones who have been deprived of opportunities. And if this is our chance for us to take up these opportunities, well, let's do it and do it proudly. So if it's going to be mostly Gen Zs and millennial, we need 1,930 of you candidates. If we get 10,000, then we'll start doing the vetting.
So, okay. I think my co-host ni kama umetulia kidogo, but Nyalomo, you were speaking.
open to, hello, we should be open to looking at policies and maybe the background check for all these leaders here. Anybody that is been tainted, rather than looking at it that, hey, it's open, we are Gen Zs, we are running this show, and millenniums, and only those people. No, we have Okia Matata, who does not even belong to these two generations, but is doing phenomenally well, you know. So I think we should not even start thinking of spreading such kind of innuendos that it is just Gen Z. Look at who is pragmatic, who is able to deliver, and look at his background. 10 years behind. Kenya, we can look at 10 years behind.
What's your last name, man?
Okello. Yeah. So we can look at 10 years behind, or 5 years is too short, but 10 years behind. So that's why I was saying, I used voice of Tongareni as an example. If I'm personally, I've heard him talk in these spaces and I've seen him is ready for a change, but now look at him. I want to vote him in as a governor. I want to look at his...
Friday afternoon.
All right. I want to look at him as what has he been doing for the last maybe knows. And then out of there, I want to know, has he ever been tainted? Tainting here means even friends. Have you conned friends? You know, are you somebody who is truthful to something? What have you done to the community, your own community, not just your own family? You know, have you even formed up a football club? You know, have you even sponsored something like that? You know, to create a change, you have to be a change agent. So let's look at politics of now, look at politics of the future, and look at the policies and what somebody is able to bring to the table. I know Gen Z started this thing here, but so many people are in it. Gen Zs have done phenomenally well, but so many people are in it. So even to include Okia Matata's age, so many people, and he is in the government, he could choose. He could have chosen to do whatever the rest of Nyangaus are doing there, but you see, he's chosen to work with people and be accountable to the public. That's all I was talking about, and I submit that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nyolam, and of course, personally, I also agree with you. Yeah, having people with good track records is something that we really need to consider, because we can say we want to remove all the members of parliament and bring in the new blood, but then we bring in the same people of the same character. So looking at the track record of someone before we get them elected in positions, it really matters a lot. The real Joe, can see your hand is up.
Thank you, KOT. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro.
Say hi to Binti and Wanyama. Anyway,
they are asleep.
They need to wake up. We are discussing serious issues. They need to wake up. Let them not sleep. Anyway, the reason I put my hand up is because of the previous speaker, Nyolamo. I like what he's saying, and I really concur with what he's saying. Basically, he's just put up, is tried to, is actually spoken my mind somehow. But I'm going to put it this way. The question we need to ask is, do you pass the leadership test? Do these people who we want, the so-called new blood, do they pass the leadership test? Because that is the litmus test that we've always failed to conduct. And we've always failed to properly scrutinize the people we want in leadership. I've said this before. Public service is something that we need to take. We've seen this and we've experienced this firsthand. Public service is something that we really need to take serious moving forward. Why? Because we are giving people an opportunity. We are giving people an opportunity. Being selfish with this kind of choices will help us a lot. Why am I saying selfish? And what do I mean by selfish? Being selfish in selecting the right people, setting up the tests and ensuring that these people we want to select pass these tests. Credibility, integrity, everything. Do they pass all that? That's why I think Nyolamo is talking about looking at the track record. We are trying to look if these people pass the leadership test. I'll tell you what. One of the very famous sayings I like by Theodore Martin Hesburgh, the American priest. He said, you know, the very essence of leadership is that you have to have vision. And this is something that I see we've lacked for a very long time. We've lacked visionary leadership. Because vision for me is a leadership that comes in with an intention to leave a mark. You come in with a plan. What is your plan? What is your economic agenda? What is your social democratic agenda? What do you have? What vision do you have for this? Very, very achievable goals. We've not had that in a very long time. Maybe the last I would trace is Kibaki era, where we set up a vision 2030. For the first time in our country, we set up a vision as a country. And we set up a vision for every sector, in education, all that. Unfortunately, we are 6 years away from Vision 2030. I would say with confidence that we have not achieved even half of what had been set out to be achieved in Vision 2030. Why? Because after that vision was set out, we've had a set of unvisionary leaders. They don't care about about the future of Kenyans. They don't care, literally. And that is why the young people have risen, right now. Because we have decided to say we are not going to maintain the status quo. It has been like this. Do we want it to be like this forever? No. The young people have decided to follow what Thomas Jefferson once said, that, you know, in matters of style, you can swim with the current. But in matters of principles, you need to stand like a rock. That is why we are standing like a rock. We are not intimidated by the state activities. And I like it the way young people have decided to stand like a rock in a KOT. Every day, despite threats, despite intimidations, we stand like a rock. That is what maybe most of us are referring to as the new blood. But even so, even with the new blood that we are talking about, we still need to ensure that this new blood pass the leadership test. They still, even though they are the new blood and that is what we want, we still need to ensure they pass the leadership test. We will support them once they pass the leadership test. But we also need to be aware of, be alive to some facts that happen in our country. In our country, we have one sickness called tyranny of majority. tyranny of majority is what is affecting our electoral cycle. That is why people always fall back. During elections, people fall back to tribal cocoons. That is what we are being treated to right now. The Mulima politics with the led by Rigiji and any other type of politics we saw when Masengeli was being taken to court. It now became a Luya thing that is being targeted because it's a Luya. You know, these are some of the things that are setback to our development agenda. We need to kick such things out of our system completely. How do we kick these things out? I'll tell you what. We have demonstrated, and in the beginning of this movement, the first phrase that we used to say, leaderless, partyless, tribeless. I'll stick to tribeless because we are going away from the partyless. We are going away from the leaderless. We now want to identify leaders of the movement, which is a good step for us. But tribeless was very key for us. It has been a unifying factor for us. We don't care who is who. We don't care about your second name. We don't care about your traditional name. That is your name. Be proud of it. But it does not define who you are. It does not make me favor someone with a similar name or a similar background. That is not what we are fighting for. We want to kick that out completely. And one of the very, very fundamental ways of kicking out tribal cocoons that we've had in the past is shaping public opinion. And I like the courage that Kina Keoti, Morara have been using. They decide to go to that Mulima that has been said, Ayezi Guzwa, they go there. It is courage. That courage is what is going to get us there. We need to find ways of shaping this public opinion. Shaping public opinion is key for us. We need to stick to the message. You know, we have been a movement that is only discussing issues. I mean, go to any space that young people are involved. You will always only hear people talk about issues. Adani, we are talking about corruption. We are talking about poor governance. We are talking about the legislative agenda that is currently in parliament. Just bills, left, right, and center, livestock, I don't know what. We are talking about issues. And these issues, we translate them and package them in messages that we can then send to our people out there. We shape their opinion. We show them that this government, as it is, it does not serve your interest. It only serves interest of a few people. We shape that public opinion. That is what we need to ensure. We need to find strategies of doing this through civic education, as we always campaign. Through civic education, through any other way, we need to ensure that the message gets out there in well, so that we can shape